Good morning, L.A. What is going on here? There's Emily. There it is.
I think mine's better.
Well, Emily, I think the originator, right?
I take so many things from the Kamenetsky brothers that I'm just gonna claim this as my own now.
No, we've spent our entire careers getting stolen from, so this is nothing new, Emily.
And I try to credit you
adds
occasionally.
to the list.
No,
Well,
it
hey,
just
brother.
means, Emily, that you're assimilating
yes.
yourself well to the ESPN environment because
Yes.
everyone just takes from us.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as you can tell here, Travis is not here today. And Travis...
As everybody asked us yesterday
Yeah,
and
that was-
tweeted at us all day yesterday. It's like,
You know-
sorry, we can't help it.
Let me tell you my favorite part about Trav yesterday, that even though his voice was going, he's like, well, I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere, okay? And until Greg had to come in and basically say, you've just basically been fired for the rest of this afternoon, but you're employed again moving forward, he wasn't going to leave. Go ahead, Jorge.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Okay, so here's what I was going to say. I was curious. A couple people on Twitter was hitting us and saying that, well, Trav likes doing a lot of those impersonations. He likes using other people's voice. Some voices.
Or an animal.
Or an animal, which, by the way, it's a completely different. Every voice is different. Every animal is different. It's one of his great. It's one of his great talents. Like a lot of people walk around and say, Trav, hey, your Dodger take's amazing. Hey, what you said about Lakers and Russ, awesome, really good, really good. But, hey, can you give me that peacock noise one more time?
Do the messy.
I'm sure he runs into that quite often. What we're trying to figure out... what we're trying to get to the bottom of here...
I like carbohydrates.
...is which one of his voices took him out. Because the man will work under any condition... And this morning he can't do it because of one of the 64 different impersonations that he does during the week.
So it's like multiple personalities, but it's all just vocal. Like it's the same personality, but his multiple personalities just come in the form of either a bird or some sports figure.
Yeah.
Or,
He's like the Bill Hader of this station. You know, Bill Hader and SNL could do any impression at any time. He's
Yeah.
the Bill Hader of the station.
So something took
I'm
Trav
gonna
out.
have a drink, and I'm gonna go to dinner, and I'm gonna go to bed early, and there's nothing you can do to get me to watch Messi.
Everybody is thinking that might be the one. Because, Em, I think you were saying, was it on Wednesday you were
It
talking
was
about
Wednesday,
the time?
the last hot and cold, because we did Times People of the Year. I mentioned Taylor Swift, but then we mentioned that the sports person was
Messi.
Yeah.
And then Trav went on like, usually if Trav's going to do Messi, he might do it for maybe 15, 20 seconds.
And he usually does a warm-up. Get
Does
the vocal
warm
cords
up,
ready.
yeah, something like that. This time, I didn't have a stopwatch, but I think he went like 2-3 minutes. And
I
we
tried
were,
to stop him.
Yes, we were all telling him like, okay, Trav, that's it. We got it. Well, that's only going to make Trav want to do it even more. So I think we found out that the culprit here is his Messi voice. His Messi voice took him out.
he got greedy. He flew too close to the sun, and he got burnt.
It's a good way to put it.
Yesterday, I'm leaving, and Alex is downstairs. The security guard downstairs. Alex, he's like, hey, what happened to Travis? I'm like, I don't know. What'd he say? He said, hey, Trav, what's going on? He's like, oh, they told me to leave.
Do you have a sample of how bad he sounded yesterday? I didn't actually hear
I'll
the
get
show.
you. I'll get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because don't worry, we didn't have him do a Rand support. We didn't have him do a loogie. We're like, we don't need people hearing that over the weekend. Yeah.
And his voice would like, he said when he cleared his throat, good to go, he's back. But then about 3 seconds later, it was back to what it was. So we'll get that. The other kind of conspiracy theory here is we did a super crosstalk a couple days ago, and Trav asked you a question about, he said something that he was trying to figure out what topic that you guys were having, and it came down to that it was cigarettes and it was smoking.
Yeah, the topic was things that used to be cool that are no longer considered cool culturally. Smoking is a big one. Smoking culturally used to be super cool.
Still kind of cool.
No, it's not anymore. You are looked. Are you a secret smoker, Emily? Are you a social smoker?
We're not going to get into that.
That's a yes. I mean,
We're
that's
not
clearly
gonna get
a
into
yes.
it. Then we just got the answer to it.
Yeah, I mean,
So you were. That was the conversation. Because remember, Trav said, "Hey, was that the topic?" And you guys said that I'm not cool, right? Like something that used to be cool. And he's like, "Did you say that? Did BK say that?"
I don't
think
remember
somebody
either.
on Twitter.
I think it was Twitter because I don't remember either one of us saying that.
Yeah, but since that moment, then Trav starts talking about somebody that he used to work with back in the day when he was super young at a TV station, and it was a guy that smoked and drank scotch, and that's how the guy got his voice like
his gravel
that.
voice.
So
yeah.
part of me
ABC
also
in
thought
Santa Barbara.
So part of me also thought that you kind of were part of the conspiracy theory that you got Trav out of here for a day.
Get you another day on the show.
I mean, look, man.
It's kind of
Here
genius.
you are.
Clocking paychecks.
It's kind of genius when you think about it.
4-dimensional chess, baby.
Okay.
Also, y'all, I just got triggered by Good Morning Football because they replayed that 4th and 2 where Mitch Trubisky was like, F it, George Pickens is down there somewhere, and threw a go route on 4th and 2 when all you needed was a field goal to tie the game against the freaking Patriots.
Where were they in the on the field?
It was like I think it's like the 47, like their 47.
Yeah.
So, but you need 2 yards and you
Get the first down. Keep
There was
keep
a
it
minute
moving.
55 left on the clock. It's not like they had 10 seconds left on the clock to get down there. It's absolutely infuriating. This team, I hate this team. I love this team.
Okay.
But I hate this team.
Did the in-season tournament cause this? I did not watch, and I know it was different because it was the Lakers, and this is
you're working. You know.
and it's the semifinal game. Everything else, I forgot that the Thursday night game was even on. I only
Twitter
remembered.
didn't forget.
I only. You're right about that. That's how I saw it. I only remembered literally because they said the final score was 21-18 or whatever it was. I remembered because the over/under was one of the lowest. I think it was 30 and a half.
30 and a half.
Something like that. That's the only reason why I remembered. Did the in-season tournament knock out the NFL for a night, or was I just in my own little world?
I think it was much more Bailey Zapp and Mitch Trubisky knocking out the Thursday night football game. Yeah. Like, do you know how little of interest there has to be to go on to make Patriots Steelers, like two of the
awful.
Tiffany franchises of the Tiffany League in North American sports?
Was one of the best matchups for a decade.
Yeah,
right. You look at that and go like, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I have no interest.
None.
I have no interest at all.
2 coaches that maybe should be on their way out, that are very good coaches that will get a job in an instant, but maybe should be on their way out.
Wow.
Just change of scenery, guys. Change of scenery. Because
Tomlin would have a job in 38 seconds.
So would Bill Belichick.
Of course.
They both would have jobs in a second.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they don't need a change of scenery in
Yep.
both locations, because sometimes this doesn't work.
And Dean Spanos would probably say, "Nah, these two aren't good enough. I got a guy. I got my own guy that I have. These guys don't have any history."
But yeah, it's absolutely frustrating. But like you said, maybe it was the in-season tournament overriding this, or it's just that you guys love basketball.
Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season.
She wants him out.
Since he's taken over this team. He's working with nothing this year.
I understand.
Wow.
What is Pittsburgh's
He also
record now?
has been
7 and
absolutely
6.
perfectly average for the last 3 years.
Yins better treat him better, man. That is awful.
He's
Yeah,
gone.
but that's
Literally, he's gone in 8 seconds. If he's gone, he's hired in 8 seconds.
Yes.
I understand that, but there comes a point where change is necessary. I don't think the Steelers, as constructed, are going anywhere at all. I think maybe that you need to get someone actually good quarterback, but the Steelers have been rotten for a while. You've never believed in the Steelers, I think, since probably pre-2020, since probably 2018 or 2017 is probably the last time you believed in the Steelers.
All right, listen during the 12
They were
days.
12-4 in 2020.
Okay, that was the most BS 12-4 of all time.
Wow.
The worst 11-0 team in history. They were terrible. They lost to the Browns
Tomlin
in the playoffs.
should not go anywhere. Or if he is going to go somewhere, I will say
Y'all gutless.
I do understand the let's just change something to change it, but Tomlin is.
What have you done for me lately?
All right, listen during the 12 days of 710 for our new morning show host, Michelle Smallman, to tell you when to call in. When she does, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you could get to choose a holiday box in the 710 studio to win fabulous prizes. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, the Mace box, Ireland's box, Sedano's box, or the Cappy box, the season of winning on 710?
Andy, what box would you pick?
I would pick the Sedano and Cappy box just because if it matches the show, it's the most unpredictable box.
Yeah.
So it's the box that I'm going to
It could be nothing. It could be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like there could be anything from like bricks of gold worth like $100 million or like a severed head. Like either one of those things could be in the box. Like, what's in the box? I have no idea, but I want to know what is in their
now
box.
between the two, because you only get one, is it Sedano's or is it Caps?
I am deathly afraid of taking Kaplan's box. That's
what's in the box.
You lean towards Sedano on that one. Okay, so we do have the clip here, and we're going to do it coming back, of where we feel like Travis lost his voice.
Okay.
We got a lot to get into. Look, DeMarco Farr is going to join us at 12:15. The in-season tournament, whatever last night was, and I'm even talking about the Bucks and the Pacers, that was a really, really cool scene. The Lakers looked absolutely fantastic. Word has it, Shohei Otani could potentially be signing anywhere at any moment. So there's a lot to get into today. Make sure you stay here all day. Travis and Sliwa Show, 8K in the house, 710 ESPN. Get real and keep it real this holiday season by buying real Christmas trees. Did you know that buying real Christmas trees helps save the American Christmas tree farming industry? For every 10 Christmas trees planted, an acre of land is saved. And so are American farmers' jobs. Plus, buying real Christmas trees helps keep real holiday memories alive while helping our environment. Buy real Christmas trees this holiday season at Lowe's or wherever Christmas trees are sold. Get more information online at getrealkeepitreal.com.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over! LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, T-Raj out today. Andy Kamenetsky in. We played a couple different moments from the week and thought maybe this is where Trav lost his voice. If you were listening to the show yesterday, the man tried fighting through it. You know what I mean?
This was his flu game.
This was his flu game. And I would even go a step further. Like, I tried carrying him like Pippen held him when they were walking back, but I almost fell over. So I had to just let Trav be Trav.
But it's like a flu game, like the middle of November. Like,
yeah.
you know, you could have sat out that game.
Yeah. No, but that's not how Trav thinks. Travis looks at these 82 games like
every
it's 82
day's a playoff game for
Well,
Travis.
Travis is a lot like Kobe or Jordan, like in the way they recognize, like, this one listener. Yeah. This might be the only opportunity this listener gets to hear Travis. Mm-hmm. Travis respects that.
Now, if you're listening on the app, you could listen anywhere. But I know where you're going with this.
No. This could be the one time
that they tuned in.
Yeah.
And they said, I don't even know what 710 ESPN is. Who's Travis and Sliwa?
Exactly. The one
Sliwa guy's an idiot. Let me
just
take a listen
like
to Trav.
Michael Jordan and Kobe recognized that person inside the United Center or then Staples. Yep. This could be the one time they get to see me live.
Trav doesn't load manage. Okay, do you got it, Jorge, from yesterday? Okay, so you wanted to take a listen. You wanted to see what he sounded like. Take a listen.
These were the guys that were really awesome players.
Yep.
But there was always drama surrounding them, right?
Yeah.
There was Key and John Gruden screaming at each other. There's T.O. crying on TV or whatever it is, doing sit-ups in his driveway while his agent's going, next question. It was wonderful.
I forgot about that.
Tell me that's not a man.
What was his agent's name?
This was also in the dump, so it was late in the show.
Tell me that's not a man that had some scotch and cigarettes the night before.
Look, I don't want to sound callous here, but do we have, like, proof of life that Travis is still with us?
Yeah,
because he sounds awful.
Yeah, I texted him.
He sounds literally on the verge of death there.
I had to check in with him, and kind of the same thing. Trav, you're all good, right? I noticed. All I got to do is notice that if he's parked downstairs or he's not, it's like he's here or he's not.
He sounds like a 75-year-old goat.
Wait, you went to P1 already?
So I'm back at P1.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm back at P1.
You come on, man.
No, let me tell you what happened.
Nah,
I'll tell you
cool.
what's happened.
It's okay. You don't have to.
Explain
it's
the story of P1 versus P2.
You're on
by the
P1.
way.
P2, I get out of my car. I get out of the elevator. My car's right there.
So they were not wrong about. There's a lot of spots at around 8 a.m.
Stop.
Okay? So there's a lot of spots.
You just
there.
switch to the dark side.
P2, I parked there for a Laker game. You ever park there at night?
Nope. I'm out of here by 2.
The danger of getting blocked in by literally people will park anywhere, and these ushers are telling them, yeah, that's fine. It's like, no, there's a car in front. Like you should not be able to park there. I almost got blocked out. Because I almost got blocked out, now I'm back at P1. So I had a very traumatizing moment there.
Stop.
I almost had to stay till 11 o'clock again.
But Travis, this happens to him every year. It happens
Yeah.
every December, mid-December, into the holiday season. Wonder why. You might be having a good time, Travis, outside of work, but who cares? Last year, the Monday after the Super Bowl, remember his
That's
voice
right.
then?
That's right.
Yeah. So Travis,
It's an annual thing.
Travis prepares, and we know. He told me on Monday, he was like, hey, my voice might be shot by the end of the week. He feels it coming, so it's just.
He'll be ready.
It's the
back
Travis
at
schedule.
It. He'll be ready back at it on Sunday. Okay,
it's like Kershaw going on IR in July.
We got to kind of. I got to be honest with you, and however you felt, you can tell me because we really haven't had an opportunity to talk about this. Whatever you thought of the in-season tournament before, if this was something that you thought has some promise, the only person I really know that was like, trust me, this is going to work. I feel like Mike Trudell.
Was all over this.
Trudell has been on the let this thing marinate. I've been on, well, listen, I trust Adam Silver, and if you're going to try something new, okay, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What have you really lost if the in-season tournament doesn't work? Then you just go back to scheduling games the way they are. I'm not going to be dramatic here, but last night, watching the scene in Vegas and seeing that you had 2 games kind of reminds you a little bit of like a March Madness game or something.
Yeah.
When I went to the Final Four in Houston, there was the San Diego State game first, and then it was Miami and Connecticut was the second game. So it kind of gave me the vibe of a college basketball type of scene. You had ESPN and TNT deciding to merge their broadcasts together, which
very fun.
Really, really cool. I mean, what a unique idea. There's talent, obviously, on both sides, and now these guys, the men and women, get to work together. You have a crowd behind ESPN and behind the TNT crew that made it look like, oh, this is a playoff game in June, or it's the NBA Finals in June, or whatever the case is. I thought the scene yesterday, before I even get to the game, Lakers winning by 44, I thought it was one of the coolest scenes that the NBA's had. It was very, very unique, and we're in December.
Look, I feel like at this point, if you're somebody, whether NBA fan, NBA media, whatever, that is still resisting the idea of this tournament, poo-pooing it, downplaying it, you just don't want to admit that you were wrong about it, or you want to feel like you are above being told something is really awesome. Therefore, you are going to refuse to admit that something is really awesome. But the proof is right there. And I say this as somebody who, when I heard about this, I was not against it in the beginning, but I was skeptical about how quickly it would take to become a thing. Like, my take on it was always, we will know in, say, 5 to 10 years whether or not this will be a success, because I think it's going to take about 5 to 10 years for it to start becoming part of NBA culture, and specifically, too, 5 to 10 years for like a younger generation of NBA fan, this is what they know. Therefore, it's something they look forward to, and the stakes start to feel organic because it's what they're used to. What I did not count on at all was the players immediately buying in. If the players buy in, everything else just falls into place. And the players have clearly bought into this thing. They clearly enjoy it. And they clearly care about winning it. So the idea that, okay, this was quite literally invented, it doesn't matter because this is sort of something that forget about. I occasionally forget about. These guys are competitive psychopaths.
Yeah, who said it? I think it was Braun, right? You got all these alphas out here. And
Yeah.
he's talking about, I think it was the game against the Suns with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Yep.
They are competitive psychopaths. So the minute you put something within any type of framework of you get to win this, on top of the $500K that clearly matters to these players, and I don't blame them, $500,000 for basically doing your job.
Yeah, it's still regular season games.
It's a great incentive. That's a tenth of Torian Prince's salary right there. It's like double a game check for D'Angelo Russell.
But you need LeBron and AD. You need these other guys to have to care.
Well, this is something that I was in on very early, like you can find the receipts. Around mid-November when we first started seeing the tournament, I was like, LeBron really cares about this. And I think he wants to win because if this thing eventually becomes part of NBA culture and a big deal, he wants to be remembered as the first winner, and I would say likely MVP of this tournament, because he recognizes there are historical ramifications potentially.
Okay, I'm not trying to pour cold water on it, but I'm going to play something out for you, and you tell me what you think here. If this wasn't the first year that this has ever been done, and let's say we're 5 years into the in-season tournament, this is all new to everybody.
Sure.
Em said this early on. She's like, look at all the attention that's going towards the courts, all the attention that's going to the jerseys, all the attention that's going into what the hell am I? What is this? There's groups, there's this, there's that. Well, it's the first year that they've ever done it. In 5 years from now, is it growing or is it just, okay, hey, this is just
worn off.
Yeah, it has it worn off. And I'll play it another way too. The semifinals included some of the best players in the league. And I know that's not going to be the finals, but walking into this thing, Giannis, Dame, LeBron, and AD of the general consensus of, oh yeah, of course I know who those players are, whether you're a casual fan or you're a hardcore NBA fan. Is this something that in 5 years that we're still not talking about it like this, but are we saying, yeah, this in-season tournament is still awesome, or did kind of the stars align in its first year?
Do the players still care? That's your answer.
Let me ask you this question. Do they still are the players that weren't a part of this semifinal, do they care more now today than they did a couple days ago? And I would make the argument that I'm sure there's I heard
Sedano say that, maybe he was working this game or something, that he would happen to know this, but apparently the Timberwolves players were mad
that they weren't in it.
Like Chris Haynes from Bleacher Report had a piece yesterday that apparently after the Bucks loss, Bobby Portis
saw that.
Tore into the team.
Saw that.
Tore into Adrian Griffin, tore into everybody, including himself.
Their effort, their this,
yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, Zion was apologizing after yesterday's game, saying that he took it too lackadaisically. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how players are going to feel about this.
Those are great signs.
Yeah,
right?
I can't
those
tell
are
you
great signs.
for sure how they're going to feel in 5 years. I have no reason to believe that after this year they're going to be like, oh, well, that was a fun moment in time, and now we're over it.
Or maybe the argument becomes, because this has got so much attention, because there's so many eyes on it, because it's this exclusive, you play on days nobody else plays, you're in Las Vegas for X amount of whatever it is. And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this changes as it goes along. Maybe it is rotated to different cities if Vegas ends up with a team, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think it is the start of something. And what it looks like from 5 years will not be the same. But I think there's also players. I love the example of the Timberwolves pissed that they weren't getting in. But I wonder if there's a Tatum and a Jaylen Brown and Embiid saying, I didn't know it was going to be like that. I want to be a part of that. Like, I wonder if there are also some other star players that are saying to themselves, that'd be pretty cool to be a part of something like that.
Yeah. I've gotten no indication that the players at large don't care. And as long as the players are bought in and they keep ratcheting up the intensity during this tournament, by extension, fans
we're going to care more.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you? Because the basketball becomes more compelling.
It's the reason why we don't care about the All-Star games, because they don't care.
Right.
Yes. So that there's
perfect example.
If they cared, we would care.
Have you ever been to the Pro Bowl? Because I have.
I've not been to a Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl is unwatchable.
Biggest joke.
And like if you
That's why they don't play the game anymore. They just play like challenges.
Well, no, the minute the Pro Bowl got better is when they made it flag football. Because once it's flag football, you don't have to worry about getting hurt other than maybe like pulling a muscle. So these guys can start getting competitive again. But like the All-Star game, most All-Star games, I don't think, for a lot of reasons, I think they've lost cachet. But if the players don't care, you're not
trickle
going
down.
to care.
Of course. There's literally no reason.
As long as they keep caring, I can't think of a reason why this won't matter.
Okay, the basketball part of it, real close one yesterday. Lakers barely pulled it out by 44. Lakers handled the Pelicans. There's a lot of angles, I think, to take on this. I don't think it's a coincidence that the Lakers are getting healthy and their defense getting a lot better. LeBron continuing to do things every single night. That's unbelievable. Great signs around Lakers basketball. So we'll do all that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show on 710 ESPN. Did you know Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America? Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. You'll pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. So I do this every day. I make my picks on Prize Picks. Couple NBA games that I think is interesting. Some players that I think we're interested in. Joel Embiid, more than or less than 32.5 points against the Atlanta Hawks tonight. I'm going to go more than. Julius Randle, former Laker, now represents the Knicks, taking on the Boston Celtics. More than or less than 21.5 points. I'm going to go less than. I like Boston's defense, so I'm going to go less than. It takes about 60 seconds to submit your picks. You get your entry in, you submit your picks, and this is the best part of what Prize Picks is doing with 710 ESPN. They got a great incentive if you use Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/710 and use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets? Yes. We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
All right, AK in the house. Travis Rogers, hopefully good to go. Back on Sunday. Rams in Baltimore. And Lakers got an in-season tournament championship game coming up in Vegas tomorrow. I know we just talked a little bit about the atmosphere and everything else, AK. What do you think of the game? I think it's so easy to see a blowout like that and, I don't know, maybe not find details that you could truly appreciate. It's a blowout. I mean, even the broadcasters, by the time you're in the fourth quarter, you're like, oh, okay. So should we cut into something else on TNT?
I mean, Doc Rivers was name-dropping celebrities that he's hung out with.
we got an idea of how he got his Doc part. He was talking about Julius Erving.
You know what? I will say that was actually kind of cool. A cute, fun story.
Yeah, Candace Parker loved it. What are some of your takeaways from a complete ass-kicking last night? Lakers hand it to the Pelicans.
This is the second straight game we've seen the Lakers at what will be full strength for the foreseeable future because Gabe Vincent's return is quite TBD. Mm-hmm. When you see this group with all of the wings that they have now, the Lakers the last few years have been a team that has been really, really lacking in that specific type of wing length. And like those type of wing players.
Yeah, they had 38 guards last year when they started the season.
Yeah, it was all like guards or bigs and no middle player. And, the type of player that, frankly, is most coveted around the league, like those rangy, switchable wings. When you see this group now with Cam Reddish, with Jared Vanderbilt, with Rui, with Max Christie,
Taurean Prince.
Mm-hmm. Darvin talked about after the game how like the presence of those guys and how disruptive they can be and how many different ways you can use them, how many matchups you can use them. It brings out the best defensive version of AD. It allows him to truly just be the guy who can do everything. It brings out the best version of LeBron defensively because he can now pick his spots in ways that don't compromise the defense as much. He can pace himself in ways that LeBron has to, turning he's almost 39. He's going to be season 21. Like, you have to expect him to pace himself to some degree, but there are payoffs. There are trade-offs to that. Even guys like D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, the weakest links of the defense, they can be the best version of themselves. We've seen now 3 games in a row where the Lakers have just been smothering and disruptive defensively. Mm-hmm. The offense is still a work in progress, but this type of defense also helps them offensively because they're best in transition. When they're disruptive, they get more opportunities to run.
Last 3 games. By the way, it's not a coincidence. It really, really is not a coincidence. Let me go the last 4 games. Remember the final game they played against the Thunder on the 4-game trip?
Yeah.
No Cam Reddish. No Rui. No Vando. No Jackson Hayes. No Gabe Vincent. 5 guys that are out. And I'm not telling you that teams don't run into situations, but they were 25% done with the season after the Lakers and the Thunder played that game. And it seemed like, okay, but I think everybody's coming back soon. Like there was some indications that they were holding guys out just a little bit longer, but most of the guys were going to come back. Some guys didn't even make the road trip or whatever the case was. The Lakers against the Rockets, you got a few of the guys back. Vando came back. Cam came back, Hayes came back. So you basically had Rui out and you had and Gabe Vincent. They gave up in that game against the Rockets. In today's NBA, if you give up 97 points in a game, there's a good chance you're not losing. Phoenix Suns. The Suns have 2 guys. If Booker and KD both went off for 35, we wouldn't blink twice. It's Booker and KD. Total for the Phoenix Suns, they had 103 points against the Lakers. Yesterday against the Pelicans had 30 in the first quarter. They had 59 the rest of the way. And Lakers, by the way, had 133. I don't think it's a coincidence. And I do think that the original plan that the Lakers were trying to sell everybody, I don't think they were trying to sell them, but this is why our offseason looks like this. We want guys, like you said, our wings can guard multiple defenders. We can go 10, 11 deep. If you're not going to go get a third star, the idea was, don't spend $45 million on one player. Spread that amongst 3 different players, and then you could also go get all these role players on top of that. Aren't these last 3 games what the Lakers' vision was initially? And is it not just coming to fruition that wait a minute, they can play 10, 11 guys. They got defensive players. They got guys that have specific roles. And then hopefully Reeves can shine with what he does best. LeBron and AD could do what they need to do, but everybody has a little bit of a role.
Well, the other thing, too, is when they, in that OKC game, this was really, really obvious. When the Lakers were without Reddish, when they were out Vando, they were out Rui, they were out Jackson Hayes, those four guys in particular, the Lakers looked so much less athletic compared to the Thunder. Like they looked, I know they're an older team, period, because most teams around the league are older than the Thunder.
But OKC is just...
The Lakers looked like geezers out there compared to OKC. I mean, they looked like a 50-year-old men's rec team compared to the Thunder. All of a sudden, you get these guys back, the Lakers are just way more athletic. They're more dynamic. Like, I don't think... We've now seen 2 games in a row where Jackson Hayes is the only big off the bench. Christian Wood is out of the rotation.
Yeah.
And that does not seem to be like a fluke moving forward. It seems to be that's going to be the rotation. I think a big reason for that is between Hayes and Wood. Hayes is the way more athletic player.
Yeah.
He's more dynamic. Like we've seen, Darvin's actually had him sometimes guarding out on the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not just in drop coverage. But I think Hayes fits more in that just basic grouping and identity of players who are just super athletic. They can get out and run. They can just make more things happen through athleticism and disruption.
I felt like 11-9 through the first quarter of the season. I'm not trying to give them excuses, but there was some real. There's more context here. They've missed some guys in the lineup. If they are now in a position where they can have these players available for a 30-day stretch, I think then we're going to know really what the Lakers are. By the way, in the month of December, you got 2 games at Minnesota. You got another game at OKC. You have Boston and New York that are home. You have already kind of had some tests already by playing the Suns, playing New Orleans, wherever you want to put them. They got another game at New Orleans, I think, on New Year's Eve. We're going to have a much better idea of what this Lakers team is, but all signs, at least early on, point to, okay, they got a chance to fulfill what they had in mind as far as what the roster looks like.
LeBron is clearly juiced up by this tournament setting. Like I've been saying now for like a month that I think he wants to win this thing because he wants to be identified as the first winner. I'm guessing the MVP of this tournament.
Yeah.
Just in case the cachet in NBA culture takes off with this tournament. But also, too, with the way this team is set up right now, it makes it easier for LeBron to go ballistic in a quarter like he did in the second yesterday that really blew the game open.
Straight or something like that.
It makes it easier for him to do that because so much other stuff is covered. And it just makes it easier for everybody to slot into the best lane for them to play. Like everybody, like early in the season, it wasn't excuse making when you were saying that, the Lakers don't look impressive, but they don't have their whole roster. Like, obviously you have to work through it. And I think the Lakers actually did a very good job working through that period where they were missing guys. Like, they never fell below 500. They were fine.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't lose anything during that process.
They didn't start the season out through the first 20 games where you're 6 and whatever.
Right.
They didn't dig themselves a hole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they are not in a place where, like last year, they have to expend so much energy
just to be in the mix.
Just to get to 500.
Yeah.
Forget even the mix. They had to try to get to 500. It's easier now for LeBron to pick these moments where he says, I'm just killing everything out there on the court. Like, I am just going to take this thing over because I got all this support behind me.
Let's take a quick phone call here. Larry in L.A. Larry, appreciate you calling into the Travis and Sliwa Show. What's going on?
Thank you, guys. When this tournament first started, first was announced even, I had no clue because I'm not a soccer fan. I know they do this in soccer. I had no clue how it worked, what it was going to turn into. Fast forward to last night. When I got off work and saw ESPN with the TNT guys, I knew this is big-time stuff for the Lakers. If the Lakers win this tomorrow, us Laker fans get to throw this, and all of the Laker haters we go to church with, school with, worked with. My pastor is the biggest OKC fan / Laker hater, and I'm going to respectfully throw this in his face if the Lakers win this tomorrow.
Larry,
I've explained to my family, because they rely on me for sports info, that this is basically a second championship, a second type of championship now, and this is going to be awesome.
Larry, appreciate you calling in. I'll give you just, if they win the in-season tournament, I don't know how you're going to view it. I'm going to view it as, hey, that was pretty cool. It was cool, happened in the tournament, and that's pretty much the only way I'm going to look at it. Michael and I were talking about it in the pregame show. Where are they going to put it? Where are they going to display it? Travis and I actually mentioned it as well. Well, you're not obviously, Jeannie's not going to line up all the trophies in her office and put an in-season tournament next to it. Maybe I don't value it as much, but that's okay. This is still a work in progress.
We can talk about this maybe after the break or later in the show or whatever. I've heard a lot of people say this. I think everybody has this backwards.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that right now. I think everybody is missing something really obvious in this whole, the Lakers wouldn't hang a banner, they're not going to display the trophy. I think everybody is missing a really large point.
Okay, let's do this. We could talk about that at 11. I still got a couple more things I want to hit on with LeBron. Ohtani, that decision could come down at any moment. So we're going to do that at 11 a.m. But, of course, coming up next, it's Ask AK. So if you got questions, by the way, we already got some great ones, but if you want to get in on the phones as well, 877-710-ESPN, Travis and Sliwa Show, Andy Kamenetsky in for Trav.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Ask Slee right now.
All right, Ask AK on this Friday. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. If you want to call in, 877-710-ESPN. Andy in for Travis. Travis smoked a lot of cigarettes, I think, in the last couple of days, and this is the situation. I'll start things off here. Optimus Prime Rib says, does AK subscribe to Travis' marriage advice of do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
I would say this: if you want to be happy, you really need to stop concerning yourself about being right, because being right, you have to pick your spots. Sometimes you need to be right because you really are on the right side of the argument, and the right side of the argument actually matters.
Okay.
But you got to pick.
Are you very selective on?
You got to
when
pick your
those?
spots.
Yeah.
You got to know when to just cut bait, and it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. What is going to move this thing forward?
Got to move the ball forward.
Exactly.
Right.
And sometimes that just means
on a 4th and
cutting
2,
bait.
You run the ball. You don't throw the ball.
Emily's got this look on her face right now like, I will never cut bait. I will never cut bait.
No. And maybe that's why I'm single. I like to not only beat the other person, I like to make them think about why they even started the argument in the first place.
There you go. We had like Ben.
Again,
Ben,
I'm
our
that is
engineer.
great marriage
Like
advice.
Ben,
exactly. That's why I'm single.
Okay, who wants to go?
I'll
Emily,
go.
you
I'll go. So this is funny because it kind of got brought up at my dinner last night, but when meeting another Andy, do you automatically feel bond with them, or is there an instant competition and you want to prove to everyone present that you are the quote-unquote better Andys? Because I was talking about Survivor. There's this one contestant that I really like. Her name's also Emily. I was like, I love this person. She's the best player in the season. And they're like, oh, it's because her name's Emily. So do you feel an automatic kinship, or do you want to one-up them?
How do you feel about that?
Okay, first of all, what's funny is I was actually thinking about this. I don't even remember how many Andys I've actually met. I've met more Andrews than Andys.
Any Drews?
Actually, I got a good buddy, Drew, who sent me a really nice text during the show that he's enjoying it. So shout out to Drew. Trying to think, like, the Andys that I know, like, you can't possibly go for the jugular with Andy Bernstein. A, because he's one of the nicest people on the planet. B,
legend.
Andy's also far more talented than I am.
What, 45 years of being the NBA photographer?
This is not an exaggeration. If there's ever been an NBA photo that
Iconic
you love,
moment. Yep.
there is at least like an 85% chance that was Andy's photo.
Yes.
So it's very difficult for me to try to go for the throat of Andy Bernstein just because he's too nice, and also, who am I to be doing that? You know, like when I've seen Andy Garcia at Laker games, I've never felt the urge to to get up in his face with a finger pointed.
Yeah, I would think you would do that. I think that would be your lead.
I have a follow-up question.
Change your name, brother.
Sure.
Did you have a point in your life where you decided whether you're going to be an Andrew, an Andy, or a Drew?
Apparently, when I was little, my parents wanted to call me Andrew, and I kept insisting on Andy.
Really?
Then there was a brief period in college where some friends kept calling me Drew. But
like The Office.
but it never stuck for whatever reason. Like, it was just like these 2 or 3 people who kept calling me it, but it just didn't stick. Then there was a period after college where I was trying on Andrew, like particularly when I was pursuing acting. And for whatever reason, I thought Andrew sounded better on a headshot than Andy. But that never really stuck either.
Yeah,
like it just never fit for whatever reason.
I was pushing for Giannis when I was a kid, but we went with Allen. We went with Allen instead. Jorge, what do you got there?
All right, man. Funny story. As a camera guy, I used to work TV, so it was 4 camera guys named Jorge. So every time the director would say, "Hey, Jorge, zoom in," all 4 of us would zoom in, and he's like, "Wait, no, not all of you."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so it's like, then we became camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, as you're supposed to. But this director wanted to go by name, and
that's funny.
It was just funny. All right, I got this one from.
Everybody zooms in. We gotta do it all over again.
Cat from Weeder wants to know: you can only bring one back. Blockbuster, Radio Shack, Sears, or Toys R Us?
Oh, Blockbuster. Easy. Simple. I miss video stores. Video stores were fantastic.
Isn't there one? Is that what it is?
Vidiot's still
Vidiot's is still great in Eagle Rock.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. But like, Vidiot's was always a great night with like your significant other, whoever you're dating. You walk through the aisles, you look for something, you learn a little bit about that person.
It means the weekend too, because like I used to go every Friday with my family, and you pick out whatever one you want for the weekend.
Plus,
buy some candy. They got it all perfectly ready to go as you go. Yep.
Plus, too, like physical media with movies is disappearing.
Yeah.
Like in the age of streaming and everything being digitized, there's a lot of stuff that isn't getting transferred over, and eventually, like, there are movies that are or going to disappear. Like if there's ever a movie that you love, and you see it, like, you know, whether on eBay or Amazon or some random store or whatever,
get it.
Yeah.
Get it, because you don't know if that thing's going to disappear. Even popular movies, but if it was, especially something that was not a hit, buy it.
Because, like, for example, they did this for Westworld. So Westworld has one of the best single seasons in TV history. The very first season of Westworld, amazing. Max wiped it off the platform, and you have to buy it on Amazon if you want to see it, but they have the ability to wipe things off. Oppenheimer also, Christopher Nolan offered this Blu-ray extended edition, and it sold out on Amazon in a day because people want to have these physical. And also, we missed the menu screen. You know, Superbad has like Michael Cera like dancing across it. There's things that you miss.
That's
when
cool.
you don't have a DVD.
That's a good,
good blockbuster.
You know what I miss too? Like, you used to have that one cassette rewinder. Like, it was for us, it was a car. So you put the VHS in there, you drop it, and it would rewind it for you. Because they would want you to rewind the tape.
Be kind, rewind.
Yeah, exactly.
Be kind, rewind.
Okay, Chrissy in the Travis and Sliwa community. Follow me on this one. I think it's kind of funny because I definitely have this with my girl. When you open a container that has a lid and a plastic foil seal, right? Plastic foil. Like hummus, cream cheese container, do you leave the foil/plastic on even though you used it?
No. Rip that thing off 100%. I find it aggravating. Like, I don't even like little corners of it left over. I find it aggravating for scooping the stuff out of the container. It sometimes gets caught on the plastic. Get that plastic, get that foil out of there.
Trader Joe's is the worst about that.
I don't know why, but I'm just telling you this, that if we ever had to live together for a week or so, we would get along very well. Because I'm with you. She leaves it on, and she'll like, let's use hummus as a perfect example. She'll open it about halfway, right? And then she leaves it on, and then she closes it. And then when I get in there, now if I have a chip or a cracker or something, I'm trying to dip something to the hum. Now I'm hitting the plastic. Now I just broke my... I'm like, why is it on there? I'm with you. Get that thing off there. What do we need it for?
Okay, I say this with love and respect because I've met Lady Slee a few times, and she seems lovely. You're out kicking your coverage, frankly.
I agree.
What the F's her problem? Like, really? The F is her problem.
Do you keep it on? Emily, do you keep it on or do you guys take it off?
I keep it on, dog.
You keep it on.
That's your problem.
I think it depends on my mood. Yeah, it depends on my mood.
What's your problem?
Is the idea? Oh well, it's going to be fresh or this. I think once it's open, that's it. Like there's nothing
once
else
it's
that
open,
can be,
the oxygen's in there.
It's out. It's done.
It's proverbial. You cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's done.
Is there anything worse
such a
than
funny question like that, Chrissy? It's such a good job.
That is a good question.
Is there anything worse though than one that you can't like easily get off, or you try to rip it
I
and
have
then
to
rip
cut
the tab?
Those are Trader Joe's.
Yes.
How about you have to cut around the end because there's no way of opening this thing.
I am a Trader Joe's stan. I love Trader Joe's, but they are so bad. Like the resealable quality of things, about the packaging, and it is so annoying that it almost makes me want to go get something else from someone else.
There goes our Trader
They need
Joe's
longer
partnership.
tabs to peel it off.
Yes, or resealable freezer items. Like other things have learned this. You can reseal your frozen,
You need that.
your
100%.
fried rice.
Yeah, 100%. Instead, you're rolling it and it does nothing, and
You
it
do
just
have
ends
to
up in
roll.
the freezer.
You got to roll your Trader
You guys
Joe's.
got one more?
No, go ahead.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, AK, we haven't really got a chance to do this yet, and I think this is and I got, by the way, there's a ton of follow-up ones I'm just going to sprinkle in on some of these Ask AKs. Shohei Otani has been the conversation. We've been talking about Otani as a free agent for about 2 years, literally. That, hey, are they going to trade him? Are they not? Are they going to get anything back?
If not longer.
Trade deadline coming up, all that stuff. Today could be the day, and I know that sounds a little crazy, but there are some signs that point to today that Otani would make a decision. And I thought this entire time that the only surprise for me is if Ohtani does not pick the Los Angeles Dodgers. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. We'll do that coming up next. Stay right here. The Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
All right, not a surprise here, but conversation, the hype around Shohei Otani, around the Los Angeles Dodgers. What is Shohei going to do? And there's first off, there's both sides. It sounds like the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, and this is kind of a surprise to me. And you said something a little bit earlier that we're going to get into that I think is really, really interesting about Toronto and the pitch that may be something that could potentially happen. Regardless of that, both sides are making pitches. You have Sportsnet LA and Breakfast TV, so one obviously representing Los Angeles, the other one representing Toronto, that was making some pitches. We have some conspiracy theories that are out there too. Em, can you set up the pitch here on both sides?
So first I'll do Jerry Harrison's, and I'm going to play the sound. This is his pitch to Shohei Otani why he should be with the Dodgers.
I played for a lot of teams, man. L.A., Chicago, New York, all over this great country of ours. You played for the Angels. Beautiful franchise, but like Tommy Lasorda said, if you want to be a real Angel, you got to put on the Dodger blue and play at Dodger Stadium. Now, I've heard that the Toronto Blue Jays are involved. Great franchise. Oh, Canada, you'd have to listen to 2 national anthems up there, bro. The taxes would crush you. You're going to have a chance to make $500 to $600 million. Canada's too cold, man. You're in your lovely Newport Beach home. You can commute if you want to stay there to Dodger Stadium every single night. The fan base here is electric. The stadium is always rocking. I guarantee you every single year you're going to have a chance to play in the postseason, win a World Series, hopefully rings, plural. There is nothing like wearing Dodger blue. And one other thing. You're the Babe Ruth of this generation. We're going to do a little coast to coast. Babe Ruth was in New York. He was a show Yank. You're the Big Show. You got a chance to play for the Show Dodgers. You be the West Coast Babe Ruth, the Big Show. Here, playing at Dodger Stadium. I can do access 360 of your home runs here on this big wall right here. Shohei, this is the place to be.
I don't know if that's going to change Shohei's decision. I don't know if this is going to be something that all of a sudden now Shohei's saying to himself, hey, and you could tell me this. I don't know if Shohei's known the entire time when free agency started, he knew exactly where he's going to go, or he's genuinely listening to these pitches and whatever he comes out, he gets with his people and decides, okay, I'm going to make this decision based on this. It only sounds like there's two, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. That was the Dodgers pitch. Let's take a listen to the Blue Jays pitch.
I appreciate you, man. You're the greatest. But in terms of the person you just heard from, Jerry Hairston Jr., first off, he played for 9 teams in 16 years. Nobody wanted him on their team. Played for the Dodgers for 2 years. I know as much about the Dodgers as Jerry Hairston Jr. He played for them for 2 years. He's an absolute joke. Let's talk taxes. Yeah, we have taxes up in Canada.
Whoa.
California has the 5th highest taxes out of any state in America. Oh, you want to buy a place close to Dodger Stadium? Worst traffic in the world is in Los Angeles. Even if you're 10 kilometers away, it's still going to take you 8 hours to get to work every day. Weather, yeah, it's cold in Canada a little bit. You know what? Also snows in California last time I checked. And based on what Hollywood has told me, the great earthquake is coming at any point, and you don't want to be around any part of Los Angeles when that happens. Oh, we're going to talk about rings. We're going to talk about titles. Okay, since 1992, who's won more titles, the Jays or the Dodgers? Anyone want to answer that here?
Jays.
Jays. Jays have 2. Dodgers have not 2. And by the way, you know what? Listening to 2 national anthems is great. You know why? Because you get to hear the American one and then the better one, which is our national anthem. Shohei Otani, we love you. You know what to do. We'll give you your privacy. We'll give you a competitor. We'll give you a controlled environment with a dome. It's renovated, and you're going to get your $600 million. So I hear. Shohei, come home. We love you.
All right. Those
blew the kiss at the end.
Those were fresh. By the way, how about him going after, geez, that was a little aggressive there.
I mean, Jerry Hairston Jr. is a really good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of being a really good broadcaster in that, Jerry's really nice.
And
like
I thought a good pitchman.
Was that the most aggressive thing to ever come out of Canada? Like
yes.
right there?
Yes.
At that moment.
That was.
Like that was the equivalent of Canada declaring war on the U.S.
We heard 2 pitches, and Greg's in here as well. Bergman, appreciate you joining us here. AK, you said something when we were prepping, and I thought the comp that you were trying to make was interesting because I've had kind of the same, at least I sold myself on this, that I just have assumed Shohei is going to be a Dodger. And I've just assumed that this was all – it's not that he wasn't genuine and going to listen to other teams and everything else, but I thought when the dust settled, to give himself a chance to just make the playoffs every year, that's not the only reason, but I thought there were a lot of things lining up towards the Dodgers. Give the comp that you made a little bit earlier, and that also kind of displays what Shohei's personality is.
Yeah, I mean, this just sort of occurred to me this morning as somebody who hadn't always been sold on Ohtani and the Dodgers being just a done deal. And maybe it's just like the LA and the Toronto of it all. But it reminded me a little bit of in the 2019 offseason when the Lakers they're waiting around for Kawhi. They're in the Kawhi waiting game, and they're just waiting and waiting. And I thought at the time, Kawhi's using the Lakers. Like, he is not coming. He is using them as leverage to get what he wants from the Clippers.
Better trade for Paul George.
Yeah,
right? Just stuff like that.
He's just using to make sure that the Clippers pull the trigger on the George trade, that he gets what he wants. And one of the big reasons that I was never sold on Kawhi becoming a Laker was, is there anybody in the NBA who seems like they would enjoy being a Laker less than Kawhi? This guy who barely talks, wants his privacy, wants to have everything to himself. You can't do that as a Laker. Like, you
absolutely
just
not.
can't.
Especially a name that's a real name. That is a absolute baller, sure.
Forget just a real name. I mean, if you're the 10th man on the Lakers, you go through a lot of scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look how much scrutiny D'Angelo Russell goes through. It's like the 4th, 5th guy on the Lakers. Like, from Bergman alone. Like, you end up with a ton of scrutiny.
Yeah, Greg will go after
he
D'Lo.
deserves it.
Yeah, Greg
he
will
deserves
go right
it.
after D'Lo.
But this isn't a Laker thing. This is a Shohei thing, right?
Right. But,
So
okay, with Shohei, given the privacy that he has been maintaining at a level that I'm not sure I've ever seen in sports before, like particularly in this age of 24/7 media, constant social media, all these different platforms, everything is seen in front of us. We don't know a damn thing about Ohtani, like nothing. His dog's name is top secret. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody in baseball who seems like they would dislike everything that comes with being a Dodger more than Ohtani?
Maybe Trout, right? That somebody else that wants all the privacy and
Dude,
everything else.
compared to Ohtani,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Trout is like Bryce Harper.
Right.
Compared to Ohtani.
So because of that, because of what you're saying too, I want everybody that's listening to be, I know on Twitter there are things going out around right now.
Mm-hmm.
Be very careful. Don't believe it until certain people say it. Until Jeff Passan says something, until Ken Rosenthal says something.
Yeah. Bob Nightingale.
More so
I mean, remember
Morosi.
the Scherzer thing from a couple years ago?
Yes, with
nothing
John,
is done.
Don't listen to John Heyman. I'm gonna say his name straight up. I don't believe anything he says anyway.
This was just your excuse to lay into Heyman one more time.
There was an angle coming for Heyman.
But no matter what people say, don't listen to like any of the fan sites. Until Jeff Passan says it, it is not real because there is something out there saying that it's going to be that some J.P. Hornstra used to write for.
He's good.
He's a good writer. He used to write for I think the Daily News, and now he's at Dodgers Nation.
Yep.
He's making a proclamation. Mm-hmm. It's not real until somebody else says it, and also Ben Nicholson Smith who works for was it SNY up in Toronto? Is that what it is? SNY?
I believe so.
Yeah, Sportsnet.
Yeah.
Either way, it's not SNY. That's New York.
Yes.
So
Just wanted to move it along.
Sportsnet. He's saying that it's not imminent, is not happening right now. So don't listen to anything until Jeff Passan says it.
The reason I found it believable that it would happen today, two reasons. First,
it's going to happen today, apparently.
Well, we learned, I learned, if nothing else, that today is part of it's in Japanese culture called Rokoi.
Day of Luck or something like that.
Rokuyo. Apologies for mispronouncing. Rokuyo. And it's a series of 6 days calculated from the date of the Chinese calendar that supposedly predict good or bad fortune. And today, T-A-I-A-N, I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't want to butcher any more things.
T-A-I-A-N. No, I'm not going to do it.
Apparently, this is the luckiest day of all of them.
And on this day in 2017 was when Ohtani signed with the Angels. So this again, if this is something that he believes, then it's some reason why.
Sure. And Morosi came out earlier today and said that it's going to happen today most likely. So it very well could happen today, and it could be the Blue Jays.
Here's the other reason, though, I think it's going to happen today.
Why? Because the plane went from like
What was
Anaheim
that?
to
Tell that one. Tell the.
There's a
the
private
theater.
jet that went from Santa Ana to Toronto, and supposedly it's Shohei's jet.
Yeah.
And there's a guy, Yusei Kikuchi, is also has a whole sushi dinner plan with 50 or 60 people that are going to be there. There's a lot of signs.
Okay. Let me say this, and I think I want to go back to what you just said about clearing something up here. If something goes down and we know it's official, we're going to break the news. What we don't want to do is take anything off of Twitter, if it's not some of the people that we're talking about, and throw something out there that ends up not being the truth.
Right.
So
yeah. By the way, Alden Gonzalez just said this. Shohei Otani has not made a decision yet.
Yep. It's also, we have to be incredibly responsible to not say something, especially, think about this.
We're not going to break the news from J.P. Hornstra. I'm sorry, I like you. I've met you. But
this is Shohei Otani.
No
This is Shohei Otani, so we got to make sure that we get it right. AK, back to what you were saying.
I was going to say the other reason, though, that I think it's going to be today, or it very well could be, that would make sense, he can make it into a Friday news dump. Mm-hmm. Because he clearly
I
does
hate this
not.
Friday news dump.
But it's real, dude.
No, I
Friday news
understand.
dumps
Normally
exist.
it is, but I think there are certain people that you can't news dump in the slightest.
The most you can do it, though. I mean, it's all relative. But the most Friday news dump, the most low-key way you could do this would be heading into a weekend where a lot of, relatively speaking, shows like this, platforms like this, they become less prevalent over the weekend. That's just true.
Yes,
It's true.
it is.
There's less
but
just programming going on.
It's not going to just be this station. It's going to be up in Toronto, or it's going to be in Chicago, or it's going to be in New York. If Shohei Otani signs, let's say 9 o'clock at night, we are going to be live tomorrow, right, first thing in the morning. Here, sitting here talking about Shohei to the Dodgers. That's going to happen. It's going to happen in Toronto. It's going to happen in New York. So I don't think this is as much
because
it's a big person.
Berg, it is 100%. I think all he's saying, even if it's 5% less media, less conversation, all he's saying is that it's different happening on a Monday morning than it is happening Friday.
I'm just saying it's not going to get talked about less.
Yeah.
Well, but the big bang of it all, the apex of it, is at the lowest key moment. And it's very clear he does not want this to be something that in any way he becomes front and center. Like it's obvious he does.
Well, the other thing why I think he would do it Friday night is because it's going to get lost tomorrow with the in-season tournament. Right? Because tomorrow,
of course,
Miles Turner.
No, but you know what?
Buddy Hield.
Here's the thing:
nobody cares anymore.
You want to talk Shohei tomorrow before that game happens?
You know what, though? I mean, I know you're being facetious, but look, think about this to some degree. If he does this later into Friday, you do lose it to some degree in terms of stories with the finals of this tournament, which has gotten massive ratings. It's done really well. And you lose it to some degree into the NFL Sunday, like the NFL weekend. Again, it's all about relative. It is relatively less of a thing than, like if Emily said, Monday 9 a.m., where you've got an entire week that you can hijack with it.
I do think that, at least for me, this is just me, and this is, again, based on nothing, it sounds like there is some momentum towards the Toronto Blue Jays. And when I mean momentum towards the Toronto Blue Jays, as in listening to some podcasts yesterday, they just have become more and more of a player. That I almost thought of the Toronto Blue Jays, and I know it's not that the franchise does not win. They have won. They've had 3 winning seasons in a row. They've made the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years, and I think what you said, AK, the one year they didn't make it, they had 91 wins, something along those lines. It's an opportunity potentially to – this is what I guess you can say from a business perspective too. Does Shohei Otani already own the United States of America? He does. He dominates.
So you're going to say does he own Canada now?
Well,
yes.
He already owns Japan. He already owns the United States.
Toronto's
and
a
now
really
he would,
international
He would also
city.
own Canada in
all
that
signs
process.
From everything that's being read since this morning, all signs point to Toronto. It very well could happen.
That's very surprising to me. I did not see it.
It seems like it's going to happen. We don't know it yet, and I'm not going to start jumping the gun. I actually think he was wrong for, I know we've already said him a couple times, but Dodgers Nation and JP Hornstra to even say anything whatsoever at that point. Because now if it gets switched and he goes to the Dodgers or he goes to the Mets or he goes to the Cubs for whatever reason it is, you have now lost all credibility.
No, you haven't.
No. When John Heyman did it, he lost a ton of credibility.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm saying you lose a lot of credibility. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm. If it does, well, for a name like this, you got to know.
You're putting yourself out.
This isn't a relief pitcher that's signing with the Reds.
You only lose credibility if you definitively say somebody is going to X way out ahead of when you needed to, and they go to Y.
That's what they did. That's what they did. They put it out there that it happened, and it hasn't happened yet. And if it doesn't happen, now anytime your name comes...
Did Hornstra
said it's happening, he's going to the Blue Jays.
He said something like, this is not a drill.
Yeah.
That was part of his...
And then wrote a story for Dodgers Nation. So then now anytime, if it doesn't go down, they switch. He could be right, and maybe we'll all say, all right, I guess he had it. But if it doesn't go down, it goes different from that. Anytime you hear that name, both of those names, you're going to say, I don't know. I want to see it from somewhere else first.
Can we do this when we come back? I know we got to go to break here. Let's play this out a little bit because it sounds like one or two things are about to happen here in the next 24 hours. Either Shohei is a Dodger or he's not a Dodger. And I think you guys both understand this more than anybody else. If he's not a Dodger, is there some finger pointing? Are people saying, well, is he not a Dodger because of this, because of that, because of Dave? Let's do that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. 5th row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
All right, let me add a little more context here, too. Bob Nightingale just put out a tweet. Seems like all the tweets now are saying everybody just calm the hell down. He says, wild day of Shohei Otani rumors. Otani has not made a decision to sign with the Toronto Blue Jays or any team as of yet. Look, it could happen, and if it does happen, it doesn't sound as much of a surprise anymore if he's signed with the Blue Jays and if that's where he decides to go.
Sure.
Okay.
Good for him. But I think this is completely nonsense that this is happening this way. I think the fact that it's coming through, and now Dodgers Nation is even tweeting out like it's finally over and putting out. I think this is just a grab from them to try and get a news cycle and try and get numbers. Exactly, I think that's exactly
numbers.
what it is.
Okay, but here's
the thing.
It's
clickbait essentially until it's real.
I'm going to play something out that AK was talking about. AK, let's say he ends up signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. Mm-hmm. You know how you were saying they're going to lose all credibility if he does not sign with the Toronto Blue Jays, and you were the one that wanted to be first, and you come out and you're the ones first, well, play it the other way. Let's say he ends up signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. What does that do to? Well,
it could. I mean, you'd be like, wow, they had it first, and then you would get some of the credibility.
You
back.
owe J.P. Hornstra a massive apology.
I don't care who you are. It's in basketball too. I don't believe anything until Woj says it.
Right, but if
because that's the way that it should be.
Shams, Woj, there's a few of them that you're like, hey, it's legit.
In football, until Schefter says it, I'm not believing it.
But if he happened to be out ahead
of
it.
Rappaport, sure, it's certain people.
Or Diana.
I'm just saying, if he happened to be out ahead of this and it turned out he was correct.
Yeah.
But why is he getting it? Why isn't Jeff Passan, or why isn't
I don't know, maybe
Bob Nightingale, or all the thousands of people that have a ton of credibility and don't work for a Dodgers fan blog.
Or maybe they got it wrong. By the way, and I will say this about the Dodger fan blog, the way you put it.
Getting cranky because they feel like Ohtani's going to end up on a
different team. I'm okay if he ends up in Toronto.
I don't know. You sound a little cranky.
You sound a mite cranky.
No, because
there,
I don't.
Greg.
Because I think it's ridiculous that we have to.
Her voice
people
on that was awesome.
because I saw there were people running down the halls being like, it's all happening until one of these other guys say it. I'm not getting all freaked out about it. And that's fine.
Let me say something about, I think some of these.
You relax.
I think some of these blogs, because I think
read dog.
I'm gonna use Dodgers Nation as an example. Okay, they are I'm not telling you that they're out there breaking news every day because that's not really. I'm assuming that's not part of the job, but they're getting Dodger people on. They're sitting down with Andrew Friedman. That there are conversations, that there is access, and this is just a new world that we're in today, right? The world that we're in today allows a lot more platforms to be in front of teams and everything else. Now that's not me telling you that they're breaking the news and they got it right. I'm just telling you that it's not a person that has no affiliation at all.
Perfect example. Trevor Lane, I love Trevor Lane. I think he's a great writer. I think he's great with everything he does for Lakers Nation.
Yep.
If he breaks that, Anthony Davis is being traded to the Bulls, I'm not believing until I see it.
I'm going to hesitate too.
But it doesn't mean that he didn't break it.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to hesitate
if it turns out that way. Sure.
The hesitation, I'm not saying don't hesitate, but what I'm saying, it's not like these companies that have been built covering the teams are nothing.
Well, look,
we have been part of too many things that has happened over the time where people put things out there to get credibility.
You're right. You're right about that.
I think I don't know until this is done. I want to know more.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, without getting too deep into how the sausage is made, because I imagine most listeners don't care.
Oh no, they do.
But depending on whether you're talking about like an ESPN or Fox Sports or like more corporate companies, there are often
The Athletic.
There are often greater layers of fact checking and protocol than there may be for like a Dodgers Nation, which is a smaller operation. But that doesn't mean that the people doing whatever for Dodgers Nation, particularly for someone like Hornstra, who's been he's been covering the Dodgers for like 20-something years as a credentialed media member, that doesn't mean they're not serious about it. Even if the outlet, I don't think it's controversial to say, Dodgers Nation as an outlet, even though I think they do good work, doesn't have the cachet of ESPN.
Of course.
Right. I think they do good work, and they have good what's the guy? I'm blanking on the guy's name. He does the podcast with Travis.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the name too.
But he's Doug McCain.
Yeah,
he does a very good job over there. Absolutely. And I like a lot of those guys. I used to work with some of those guys over there. They're all very good guys. I just think this is
let me
do.
play something out here real quick. Let's just say the news that started being reported, and now that I'm just to make it for those who are just tuning in right now in the app or you're in your car. Shohei Otani has not made a decision. That has not happened. There are some rumors on Twitter, but nothing is official. Shohei Otani has not made a decision either way. Greg, I'm going to throw this your way. Let's say in an hour that we're sitting here, it becomes official, and the people that you're talking about, the Passons of the world, they put it out. Shohei Otani
is a Blue Jay.
Is a Toronto Blue Jay. Let's just say that happens. What is your initial reaction as a Dodger fan that it seems like this organization, how long, AK, do you think they've been preparing for this moment to make the pitch, to make sure Shohei stays in Southern California, the sacrifices that they made to make sure that they keep their books pretty clean? They didn't go out in free agency last year to go make big splashes.
I would say they have been indirectly and incrementally preparing for this moment since the moment Shohei Otani became an Angel.
100%.
Let's say.
And I would say they have been more proactively preparing for this for at least the last 2 seasons.
I'll be honest.
How do you feel if it played out that way?
I would be disappointed, obviously, because you want him to be a Dodger. And also everything that's been happening is, like to AK's point, they've been setting up for this moment right now. Everything they did. They didn't go out and get anybody at the trade deadline because they're saving money. They didn't bring in anybody at the last offseason because they're saving money for Shohei. This
Trey
was
Turner
all
walked year before that.
Was all set up around getting Shohei
Corey
from
Seager.
what we understood. Yes.
Maybe if you're not thinking about, if you're not earmarking money for Shohei Otani, you're willing to give Seager that big.
You're at the absolute minimum. You are thinking about Shohei over these last couple of years.
So
without a question.
It will be disappointing. I won't be. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of being upset because I'm a Dodger fan, but I'm okay with wherever he goes. I think it's good for him that he's not staying in Anaheim. That's the biggest thing. Obviously, I want him to be a Dodger.
Free Otani.
Yeah, well, absolutely. He would lose for the rest of his career.
He's got to free himself.
Yeah, he has to free himself, exactly. I obviously want him to be a Dodger, but and I will be disappointed in the Dodgers for not making it happen because everything we've been hearing is we will not be outbid. If it turns out they had a bigger offer, They gave him anything he wanted, a bunch of private jets, whatever he wanted. He can go see his family every other weekend. Who cares? He can do whatever you want. And he just chose Toronto over that for less money or whatever. Then good. More power to him. The Dodgers did everything they had. Now, if they get outbid or something else caused that problem, Dave Roberts was the problem.
That's what I was getting at.
That caused a problem. Yes, I think if it comes out that Dave Roberts was the reason they don't get Ohtani, I'll lose my mind.
Let me set this up. I don't even think you have to. You don't. Nobody's going to come. Shohei's not going to. If he signed with Toronto, he's not going to be saying in his press conference when they ask, "Why did you pick the Blue Jays?" He's not going to say because Dave Roberts talked about me and said that I met with him at Dodger Stadium. That's not going to happen.
Boy, if that's the one thing he ever revealed about himself,
that'd be interesting.
I didn't become a Dodger because of Dave Roberts and his loose mouth. And from here, I'm not saying another word.
Okay, fired. He should be immediately fired if that happens.
But this is
I'm not even kidding.
Listen, this is the point. This is the point. Nothing has to come out. Literally.
It probably won't.
Even if Shohei sits back and says 50 times, guys, him saying what he said has nothing to do with me picking Toronto. But I will tell you what I believe Dodger fans, how they will view the situation is, we asked you to do that team asked you to do one thing.
You had one
Don't
job.
Say anything. And you sat there for 15 minutes and you were just about the only thing left out was if Shohei had steak or chicken at that lunch or whatever that they met with for 2 or 3 hours. You left a lot of information there. I don't think it matters if anything comes out about Dave Roberts' thing. There were already people pointing at Dave Roberts because of what happens in the postseason. Is he making the decisions? Is it this? And then you add this to the offseason around Shohei. Impossible people are not blaming it on Dave.
It does sound
he's going to get blamed.
It does sound, though, if nothing else, from reports, even if this is not the reason if Ohtani ends up a Blue Jay, like Dave Roberts talking about it, it does seem based on reports like the Dodger brass was upset that he did this.
Everything that he said has been, they were like, I don't know why he was speaking.
Yeah, you're right.
Why did he say anything?
By the way, that's very telling, too.
Yeah,
that's extremely telling.
It's very clear they didn't like it.
And you know who the most excited person about all this is? If he does go to the Blue Jays? Chris Morales. He's going to come in here bashing on.
Well, there's nothing to bash. He's going to have to go get
no,
another
he has another one.
Oh, he's got
another bobblehead that he can bash.
He's the only one.
You know
if you look on his Amazon history, recently purchased,
Dave Roberts,
he's the only one buying Dave Roberts bobbleheads.
And then he'll get a Mike Tomlin one too, just because of the gutlessness of that. Too.
You know what? Ironically, though, Dave Roberts talking about this meeting, like in pretty big terms, when it was very clear, don't say a damn word about it. It's actually the opposite of gutless. Like, that's the most guts. That is the most guts I can think of.
Yeah, you're right.
This is the biggest free agent in, forget baseball. He's one of the biggest free agents in
what
sports.
What don't you want me to do? Watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only am I going to confirm that this meeting happened, I'm going to give you some details. This is what we talked about. Like, that is guts.
Okay. We got
it's guts.
We got Factor
Bad
Cap.
guts.
We got Factor Cap coming up next. Anything that obviously goes down with the Shohei stuff, we're going to jump right on it. Factor Cap coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, AK in the house, 710 ESPN.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam.
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets? Yes. We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dan. Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back. First of all, it's not a cap. It's
no, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, like Al said, if anything does come down with Ohtani, we will let you know as soon as possible. And also, want to give a shout out to LAFC. They're playing Columbus in the MLS Cup final tomorrow. It's on at 1 p.m. our time, and it'll be on Fox and on Apple. And if you have Fox, but like Apple, it's free for you to watch too.
Yeah.
So make sure you watch it. Support LAFC. Could be back-to-back champs. Amazing. Or you can listen here on ESPN LA 710 with Dave Denholm on the call. It'll be great.
Was Greg a little edgy, or was it just...
Greg was a
sounded
little edgy.
a little upset.
Well, here's the thing. He swung at me in the hallway. I didn't even know what was going on. He just swung at me.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same vibes that I had with Ben.
Spiderweb.
I mean...
Oh, man. All right, so on this day in 1965, this song came out. So California Dreamin' came out on this day in 1965. And it's been spoofed all over the place. It's a great song. I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. My statement is California Dreamin' is the best song about California. Al, Factor Cap.
I'm going to go Cap. Listen, I'm just going to kind of theme this, and I think this is what you're kind of looking for. The best California songs. And I thought naturally, I was going to go California Love. I thought, okay, yeah, I'm going to go Tupac. I'm going to go with hip-hop. I enjoyed hip-hop growing up. I don't listen to it as much anymore. But I'm going to go Californication. I'm going to go Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think that's another band that just, they're timeless. Like, you could listen to them 20 years ago, you could listen to them today, and it's still really, really good music. I'm going to stay with Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Andy?
Chili Peppers, by the way, massive Laker fans.
Yeah, Flea. Flea called out Travis,
Kiedis
and
too.
then Travis called out Flea.
Kiedis is a big Chili fan. They all are. Chad Smith goes. I mean, they all are big. I'm going Cap as well. I think you can argue that California Dreaming is maybe the most iconic California song, but I don't think it's the best as far as like an actual song. The one that pops to mind for me is Going Back to Cali by LL Cool J.
Classic.
Yeah,
Classic.
good choice.
I don't think so.
I honestly think that it might be Miley Cyrus. Hopped off the plane at LAX with my dream and back on again. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to move on to the next
one. That's a classic one, too.
Hey, hold on. How about this one? Just mentions California. It was here in the system.
Eagles.
Okay.
Right here.
I could listen to this song. I'm kind of with you on this. I could listen to this song all day. It's a great song.
It's a long song.
Typed in California and I popped up. So, yeah.
It's a bad karaoke song, by the way. People think it's a great karaoke song. It's
Not
a terrible
good?
karaoke song.
Yeah.
I'm like the
Way
dude in
too
Big
long.
Lebowski. I hate the Eagles.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The team, the band,
The drums.
everything.
The band definitely. The football team, I sort of have to hate because my wife is a Cowboys diehard, so it's just safer for me to hate the Eagles.
Yeah.
By the way, you got California Love, Dr. Dre.
Oh, yeah.
All great options. So if you have your favorite California song, tweet it at us. We'll play it throughout
Welcome
the show.
to the Jungle is a California song in its own right. That is a great
What's
song.
Weezer's, was it Beverly Hills?
Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
That one.
That's where I want to be. Anyway, so yesterday I was.
Do that one more time, Emily.
That's where I want to be. Living. Okay. Yesterday I was driving with my friends. I met at their house, and then we were going to drive to dinner. And so we all kind of packed into one car. And there's 5 of us in this kind of tinier car. And DJ, my friend, is driving. And his wife is in the passenger seat. And it was not, it was typical LA traffic. And also there was some parallel parking that had to be done. So it was a little hairy. And there's a lot of backseat driving happening in this car. And I just tried to be quiet and not say anything, and I'm just going to let this happen. If a car accident happens, a car accident happens.
That must have been a hell of a challenge for you, Emily.
Yeah, exactly. To shut my mouth, it's very difficult.
She's like, get out of the car.
No, just to not offer an opinion on blank must have
Yes,
been very difficult.
It's very difficult. So you are a backseat driver. Andy, Fetcher Crap.
Cap, and I can't stand backseat drivers. I can't stand backseat drivers. I cannot stand shotgun drivers. My thought is, if it's this important to you, drive the damn car.
Yeah, it's true.
Otherwise, shut up.
I agree. And Alan?
So it's Cap because, by the way, I don't know the last time I sat in a backseat. I don't know why I feel like it's been a really, really long time since I've been in the backseat.
Passenger princess?
Yeah, I guess. I will say on sitting shotgun, no, there's times where I think I got to do a little bit better of a job of shutting the hell up, and I know it. Like, I'm aware of it. Sometimes, Michelle, it's like out of nowhere, she just gets in a car and she becomes NASCAR. I'm like, just relax here, okay? We're not Jimmy Johnson in, I don't know, you pick one of the Daytona Cup or something.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, but not all the time, but sometimes she's like that. And I'm like, you're going really fast or whatever the case is. So, and maybe it's also because I'm not really in a hurry when I'm driving.
You know what's weird, though? When you are not driving the car, it feels like it's going 20 to 30 miles an hour faster than it actually
Yeah, you're right
is.
about that.
It's the control.
Yeah, you're right
it
about
is.
that.
Like, there'll be times that we're on the freeway, my wife is driving, I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? I look over and it's like, she's going 60.
How funny is it? How many times you guys see this on Instagram or TikTok, any of these short videos where it's the guy trying to show what his girl is doing in the passenger seat, and she'll be like, slow down. She'll stop, and you'll stop right away, and like the stop sign's way down there, and there's somebody crossing. It's like, yeah, that's
My mom's
probably
a
every
big
partner.
gasper. And I'm like, Mom, if you do that, I am going to
scares
slam
the
on my
hell
brakes.
out of the person. Yes.
Jorge?
I'm with the guys in this Cap. I don't like being that person, and if I'm in the back, look, I'm most likely just gonna sleep through it. Whatever happens, if I wake up when we get there, we're gonna
take the wheel.
I love how Jorge is able to sleep. Like, all I know about right now with your
problem.
sleep is Travis's couch.
That's right.
There's like certain environments you could just go out.
Just knock
Coffee
out,
at
bro.
8:30 doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So also last night I went to Kahuna Tiki in North Hollywood. Great place if you are in that area. It's very fun, good vibes. But we were I didn't really know what I wanted to get as a cocktail, and so they had some funny names for things. And so I just picked the funniest name to me, and it also happened to be like a cocktail that I might like. And so you order a drink by the name. So, if you don't know what you're going to get, you're going to say, hey, I really like this funny sounding name. So Jorge, Fetcher Cap.
No, I go with my regular stuff. Like if what kind of beer you got, and I just get it. Because I don't know what's in the drink. I mean, they have a list of stuff, but some of the stuff I'm like, I've never had it or whatever, so I just go with my regulars. So Cap, I would say.
Al?
Yeah, I fall Cap on this. Maybe this is why I am so boring, but I'm not. I do end up kind of getting the same thing, or I go with my go-tos. I'm much more down to try food I've never tried than a cocktail or a drink. One, I don't really do cocktails, so I think that I'm already kind of behind the eight ball when it comes to that. Food, I actually have no problem telling a waiter or waitress, what would you recommend? And I'm down to roll with that. I'm more open with food.
Yeah, 100% what Alan just said. Like, I am a really adventurous eater. I will try just about anything unless it's something I just know that I hate. I'll give pretty much anything a go. I don't really like mixed drinks, to be totally honest. Like, if I get hard alcohol, it's usually just that
I'm with you.
Alcohol.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, I don't even go ice.
You guys aren't fun.
No, you're right. I think
well,
she's
you know
right.
what it is for me? I bartended for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I have experimented and created all these different tastes and stuff like that. Like, I kind of know what it's going to taste like. So you're probably not going to be able to spring anything new on me. And for the most part, like, you know, a lot of like fruity drinks, for example, if I want that, I'll just drink fruit juice.
Yeah.
Like, I actually like the taste. Like, I'm a tequila guy. I don't want to mask it with anything. I like tequila. Like, I like how it
Put
tastes.
lime? Do you put anything, or you just?
I just sip it. I might like sip it and then.
Like when you wake up?
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly. First thing in the morning, I don't want to mask that.
I don't brush first. I do tequila
Some tequila
first.
mandala.
Yes, I want.
Then I brush.
Yeah, I want the full mandala experience.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm a big fan of fruity, fun drinks.
You been to the Star Wars Cantina in there in Disneyland? They have a bunch of.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
I
They also have the thing that makes your mouth go numb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very
No,
cool.
but I will say
I would probably try the cantina drinks just because it's the cantina.
Just to try it.
There are some people that do like that, and I respect, like cocktails. Hey, I want to try a different cocktail. I want to try something different. I find myself, I think, you described, at least me, maybe not them too, boring. You're right. When it comes to drinks, I'm going with the same one.
I got one more for you guys. So Hanukkah started yesterday. Christmas season's coming up. So it's gift season. And so there are people in your life occasionally, like you might be an acquaintance, and they get your gift, and you're like, oh, do I have to get you a gift? So if someone gets you a gift, you have to get them a gift. Alan, fit or cap?
I feel very obligated, and it's also, I don't know if embarrassing is the right way to put it, but it's like, oh crap, I didn't know they were going to get me a gift. It's not even that I have to get them a gift. Like, I feel bad that I wasn't thinking of getting them a gift, but I do feel obligated in that predicament or situation.
Yeah, fact, if nothing else, you don't want them having moral authority over you. Like, in their head, they're hanging that gift that they're just got
one.
for you.
They're +1
exactly,
right now. Yeah,
exactly.
Like
so you got to even that back to zero.
Damn right, AK.
Jorge?
Fact. I'm with the guys on this one. If you get something, they did it out of the kindness of the heart or whatever.
Or even out of spite, just to get that +1.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, I do feel obligated to be like, give them something like a gift card or whatever,
Also, does there come to a point where, like, maybe you've been sharing gifts and you've been sending gifts to this person for like a long period of time? They were your friend, but you might not be as close to them anymore. Is there a time you say, like, hey, maybe we don't do gifts
Emily,
this year?
is there a gift dilemma that you have right now with a specific person?
Yeah.
Because it sure sounds that way.
I need advice.
This could be? You know what this could be? This could be the...
Give him the pillow back.
This,
May or may not be the thing.
She just ships out a pillow.
Yeah.
It's used, and she's like, "Hey, I've been
No
thinking
return
about
address,
this for a
no
long
note.
time." I'm
Make sure,
sending it
Emily, that
back
you
to
wrap it with gloves on so
Right.
there's no fingerprints left.
That's awesome.
No database.
Yeah, but that's all factor cap for you guys.
Okay, got a couple things here we could do when we come back. Again, if anything goes down on the Shohei Otani front, we will break the news, but we want to be very, very smart about it until something's official.
There is Rams news.
Okay, we got some Rams news coming up. Braun is, I don't think he's fighting Father Time. I think he's already beat Father Time. We could get into that coming up next as well. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show on 710 ESPN. Okay, how about this? 3 courses, 1 festive box. There's no place like the Hut for the holidays, and there's no better holiday meal than the Triple Treat Box. 2 medium, 1 topping pizzas, 5 breadsticks, and 10 Cinnabon mini rolls, or an ultimate chocolate chip cookie. A win for the holidays with something that makes everyone happy, provides a festive treat to unbox, bring to a party, elevate a family dinner, rescue dinner, or even use as a holiday present. I can't wait for this because we're going to get a chance to have some pizza a little bit later today. Full course meal for a group in one, appetizer, dinner, and dessert. Use that code. This is the most important part of this thing. Use the code ESPNLA10 for $10 off your order of $40. Again, use the code ESPNLA10 for $10 off your order of $40.
The 12 days days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
The Black and Gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Certain kind of person to get the body working to the level of precision that's needed.
This is the theme song for Nickelodeon Guts. So we were talking about guts and gutless today. Whether or not Dave Roberts was gutful for what he said, but
I'm with you. I lean towards you, AK. That was pretty gutful.
I mean, say what you will. Like, you can argue it was the dumbest thing Dave Roberts possibly could have done, that it was wildly reckless. It maybe altered the history and trajectory of the Dodgers for like the next decade plus.
Yep.
But that took some guts.
Yeah, it did take some guts.
Yeah, screw you, Andrew Friedman. Screw all you people. I'm going to talk about this meeting we just had.
Can I tell you something kind of fun? By the way, nothing official has been announced on Shohei Otani. So if something goes down, of course, we're going to break to it right away.
Or broken by, I mean, it's not going to be announced right away, but broken by somebody that you know. Okay, this guy for sure knows this.
Correct. But I go back to it a couple days ago. Lakers were about to play the Suns, and I was driving in, coming into the arena, and I think the interview with Dave had just happened within maybe an hour or so, and the long, extended interview was on YouTube. And I'm like, all right, well, let me just take a listen to this. Obviously, it's good information to have. I want to hear what Dave Roberts had to say. And as that thing started, I was like, okay, well, I'm surprised he's still kind of talking about it. Like, I thought it was just going to be your regular run-of-the-mill, guys, we're not talking about free agents. That's not going to happen. You could ask me any questions, but you cannot ask me about any free agent questions. I'm not going to answer it. So did you meet with Shohei? Yes. And then, this is what you've done for a large part of your career. If a player or a coach or a manager opens up the door a little bit, then you kind of ask, okay, well, then it sounds like...
He didn't even open up a little bit. Like, he actually just opened the door and said, would you all like to come in?
Would you guys like to come in? And then it was, well, where did you guys meet? Met at Dodger Stadium. Okay, there's another answer that we got. How long did you guys meet for? 2 to 3 hours. What do you think? The reporters are just going to stop... They're going to just stop all of a sudden asking the questions. But it didn't go on for 30 seconds or a minute. It didn't go on for it didn't go on for a minute or two. This thing went on for about 10, 15 minutes.
Absolutely. Again, that is guts. Like, that actually was pretty gutsy by Dave Roberts. I almost admire it, even if it was really stupid, because who knows, maybe Dave Roberts felt like I had a good enough rapport with Shohei Otani that I feel comfortable doing this. Maybe Dave Roberts doesn't want Otani. And this is his way of undercutting the whole thing. Dave Roberts has decided, I don't think Shohei Otani is a good fit for this team. Therefore, I am going to play saboteur, and I am going to cut this thing out at the knees. What do you think of that, Mark Walter?
I think we could all say this. No matter what happens, if Shohei Otani is not representing the Dodgers come March in spring training, Dave Roberts will be pointed at as, Dave, you have something to do with this. Dude, no question about it. That's how Dodger fans will feel.
If Ohtani,
whether true with 1 ounce or nothing.
If Ohtani ends up a Dodger, the narrative is going to be that he signed in spite of Dave Roberts, in spite of Dave Roberts' disloyalty and refusal to follow a directive. Like, this narrative is already set that Dave Roberts stepped way outside the lines with this. How much it actually matters, who knows? But that's already entrenched in people's heads right now.
Another thing that's kind of interesting about this was just posted. It's like Jays or Angels are going to spend $600 million on Ohtani and not travel the radio cruise. So that's also really fun, too, just for the industry as large. Anyway, Rams news. Sean McVay had his press conference for the Friday today, and he said that the Rams have not decided if they'll activate Mason Crosby this week, but quote unquote, more likely we will probably not go in that direction. So clearly it just means that maybe he's not ready. He hasn't kicked in the whole year, and you don't want to mess it up and ruin
especially
the future.
at his age. Yeah.
Right. So, might be another Lucas Havlicek week, which again, I really don't think the Ravens game is going to come down to a kick.
A field goal?
Yeah. I think that it's going to be either they're going to win it on the field. So hopefully it doesn't happen, but I think that Mason Crosby is going to be a better option than Lucas Havlicek down the line. But yeah, I guess if Sean McVay says he's not ready, he's not ready.
DeMarco Farr is going to join us at 12:15, so we'll talk Rams there and their big matchup coming up against the Ravens. 6-6, chance to make the playoffs, everything that comes along with that. Lakers won the in-season tournament semifinal game last night. I think we're all getting used to this new format, this new setup. You and I talked about it a little bit earlier. I can't really find a negative of what's going on. I could say that I wish there was some more skin in the game. Remember, actually, it was Tyrese Halliburton that mentioned it before the tournament started. If he was asked something about what do you think of the in-season tournament, he said, if we had a chance to make the playoffs for winning this thing, basically what he's saying is he wants higher stakes to the in-season tournament. Maybe ironic that Tyrese Halliburton has actually been the name around the tournament and that he's in the finals tomorrow taking on the Lakers. LeBron did something that we take everything for granted because he does it all the time. You covered Kobe Bryant for a very long time. And I'm sure there were days that you walked away from a game and Kobe would just put up some unbelievable numbers, but you wanted to point out, wow, Sasha had a really good game, or
all the
Lamar
time.
Odom did this, or whatever the case is, right? And I find myself doing the same thing. Is as much as I want to appreciate what LeBron is doing, AK, I take it for granted. And I think it's very easy to take it for granted because it's just so normal.
You know what the thing is, and I think I realized this in the moment with Kobe. It wasn't so much because I covered him from the last 10 years of his career. My first season covering the Lakers full time was the first season Phil Jackson came back. So that was the year of '81. That was the year that they lost to the Suns after being up 3-1 in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Kobe would go on these heaters where he had 4 or 5 games in a row where he put up 40 plus, maybe even 50. I wouldn't say that I took it for granted, but what I did notice is it becomes normalized in ways that you can't help feeling because it is quite literally normal. When I was at 81, I was at the 81 game. Kobe had, I believe it was 26 after the first half when we were going into halftime. To be totally honest, right, but honestly, nobody was really talking about Kobe having 26, maybe on a path to like 40 to 50.
Sure.
Because that was normal for Kobe. What everybody was talking about was the Lakers are trying to make sure they get in the playoffs, and they are losing to this dead-ass Raptors team who is awful. Like
down double digits.
Yeah, like Kobe, the thing that was amazing about 81 and made it like truly awesome, it wasn't just him putting up buckets. It was they needed these points.
That's what made it
in
unique.
order to win this game. That was important that they won. But I remember being at that game. I was sitting next to Brian because we were covering the team. And I remember at one point in the third quarter being like, is it me or does Kobe have a lot of points in this game? And I look up and I'm like, oh my, he's already at like 40 and we're like 5 minutes into the third quarter and we were both like, whoa, like even by Kobe standards, this is a lot.
You knew it was going to be a special night, even though he's normalized so much of this.
You knew it was going to be special once it became clear they're going to beat the Raptors. Because if he gets 81, that's obviously momentous, second highest total ever. But if they lose to the Raptors, you're going to have really mixed feelings about this. But like the point being, it took a while for me for it not to feel just normalized because Kobe did stuff like that all the time. LeBron, if it wasn't for the fact that LeBron's almost 39, so it's just unprecedented that somebody does something like this at 39, this is normal basketball behavior for LeBron. It just is.
All right, let's do this. He accomplished some stuff last night that I thought was interesting. Lakers obviously blow out the Pelicans. LeBron versus Father Time. I know we got a couple calls on this. We'll do all that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 8K in the house, 710 ESPN.
The 12 days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store.
The Black and Gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win.
710 ESPN.
Everyone claim that they might be cheap. The rich man buy, the poor man's
We just have this on in the background like the whole show, Nice Friday. AK and I relaxing. AK, I didn't know for years you were a bartender.
I was.
You said 10 years, something like that?
Roughly.
Roughly
yeah.
10 years?
My dad was a bartender for a very long time, too.
Why do I feel like that would be fun, but then when you're actually doing it, you're like, yeah, this is a lot of work.
It's fun for a while, and then it becomes very not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it can be very fun. Like, the place I worked in Westwood was for a while too much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like I part of the reason that I left there because the money at this place by bartending standards was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, was in part I was drinking way too much. Like I honestly was just drinking.
How could you not?
Yeah, I had that much access.
I was going to say, like, how could you not?
Well, part of the reason though I was drinking that much was I was really unhappy with the job, and I was like, I need to get out of here. But like, it's fun for a while, and then you really get sick of drunk people.
Oh,
like you get
of course.
So
I always think of those
sick
like those places always around college campuses or in a downtown.
This was
area.
a college bar.
So, but how about the places that have like they sell slice of pizza till 3 a.m. Or there's Mexican taco shops, you know, like something like that, and they're around college camps. I'm like, can you imagine the people that are coming in here? It's probably not even that busy from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then after that, it's just drunk idiots the entire time. Okay, you got a dog, right?
Yeah.
I want to get your advice on something real quick. Let me get back to LeBron. So, got a golden retriever, right? Rookie. Talked about him before.
I've met Rookie.
Oh, that's right, at the pickleball. I'm dealing with a little situation with dog. Okay, this guy, I take him for walks every day. Every day we go walking, and probably go for a good hour or so when we go walking. He is scared of every freaking noise that is out there. It doesn't even matter. If there's a gardener within 100 yards, and the gardener doesn't even have to have anything on yet, he just has a truck and he's holding a shovel. This guy is hallucinating like no tomorrow. Does anybody have dog advice for me of how I get this guy to let's relax a little bit? The world's not going to end.
Well, I mean, I wonder if he's actually overstimulated when he goes on walks.
It could be overstimulated. Okay, we got to stop everything right now. We got to stop the press here. Pizza Hut is in the house. They're doing a very special delivery here on Friday. AK, I don't know if you know this, but because you're here, Pizza Hut said, we're coming in. Look at this.
Wow.
Okay, so this is what they got going on right now. They got the triple treat box. Let me get everything out of the way so it can be properly displayed. The camera can get it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ooh, it was sealed, too. This was properly sealed for us.
Okay, so we're going to open this thing
Travis is so jealous.
Travis is
well,
so
this is,
jealous.
Please, Carlos, send
I'm fine. I can come in.
He's probably driving in right now.
I'll make it. Save me some.
I could see him driving in right now because that is Trav right there. Look at this.
Ooh.
So the boxes are sealed like this.
Oh, my.
Take out one at a time here.
Just got a text from Trav says, hey, I smell a Pizza Hut.
All very nice. Look at the desserts we got here. So the triple treat box, for those that know, you're basically picking everything. You get the appetizer, the dinner, and the dessert. AK, I need you to go on your Pizza Hut app right now and use that code ESPNLA10 so you get $10 off your order of $40.
I'm not doing it right now. They just brought it to me.
You get everything. Literally, appetizer, dinner, and dessert. Pizza Hut's hooking it up. You guys are awesome. They're here. How often is this? Are we doing this like once a month? Maybe even a little more frequently? Every time they walk in, everybody smiles because they know that we're getting fed, and we're getting fed very well. So thank you, as always, from our folks over at Pizza Hut. This is awesome. This is great.
Oh, my stupid throat.
Now I got to do something where I have to look at the food, and I can't eat it until we go to break.
Nope.
And then I want to look here. So
Nope.
we got the dessert here. Can I just take a quick look at the pizza here?
Actually, kind of mean of these Pizza Hut reps to like bring this all in, have us help model it, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna take it out of here."
They're like, "Don't touch it."
Yeah,
Don't you dare.
No, seriously.
Dare touch it.
It's kind of cruel.
Got it here? Okay. We can put it right here. Yeah, we can put it right here. Thank you. Just keep this here. I'll
They're
take
like,
care of it. Don't
we're,
worry.
We're done
I'll
with
take
your
care of it.
part. Put the pizza away.
Use that code ESPNLA10 for $10 off your order of $40. Pizza Hut hooking us up. Great partner, fantastic partner. Throughout our broadcast, a lot of our play-by-play as well. They're a big partner.
I got a hat, too.
Thank you for bringing it in.
Look at this.
Oh, that's a great hat.
Dude.
You got
That's like an old school pizza.
Exactly. With the yes.
Oh, trucker hat type of style
Love it.
right
I
there.
am legit jealous.
Okay, look
of
at the
that.
shirt behind you. Look at the shirt behind you that we put on John. Legalized marinara. This is it's good marketing here. Good marketing here. Okay, I'm gonna get back. You said so. You're saying Rook is overstimulated. You think?
It's a possibility. I mean, I'm not a veterinarian, but
That's why I'm coming to you.
I'm just wondering.
I thought you went from bartender.
My mom is a veterinarian. Should I get her on the
Yes.
line?
No.
Do you actually want her?
No, I want to ask her the question of what her advice would be to help this little guy out. He's literally terrified of everything out there.
I mean, what is your normal living situation? Like, are you in like a multiplex? Are you like?
Yeah.
How big of a place is it? How quiet is your place normally?
So LeBron's like 3 doors down.
Right. Okay.
Right. and it's a 400 square foot studio. No, it's a condo complex.
Okay.
So it's a condo. We have to physically take him out because he doesn't have a way of getting out unless that. So it's just a
Is
small
your place
little,
normally pretty quiet though?
No, there's
Okay.
action.
All right.
There's action. It's kind of on one of the main streets there.
Okay.
So there's some action there.
I don't know.
I texted my mom the question. She can provide her expert.
I just need a little help.
Sometimes dogs get scared by very specific things or overexcited by our late dog Bobo, who passed about a month or so ago. Great dog. A lot of listeners will remember I've tweeted out he looked like James Garner. He was a pit bull mix that looked like James Garner. Bobo despised our neighbor's dog Roxy. This little poodle, very sweet, totally harmless. Bobo hated Roxy, to the point where every time we walked by Roxy's house, Bobo would be looking in their window to see if Roxy was there to start barking at Roxy. Then the minute we passed Roxy's house, Bobo was fine. Bobo, not a care in the world. Bobo loved walks, loved them.
Mm-hmm.
But going by Roxy's house, it was,
triggered something.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was on.
You know what's funny? You know what gets Rook when a trash truck is coming? There's a war going on outside. There's a war going on outside. And I try to make him all right, hey, sit right here and let's soak in the moment and realize that the world's not going to end. That doesn't help.
It might be the motion, too. Bobo really disliked, those Lime scooters? Those people riding around those different Lime or Bird or whatever.
I don't like those either.
Yeah, he hated those and he hated motorcycles.
Yep.
Bobo, though, was also kind of
also
skittish.
what I don't like.
Bobo was very skittish.
Yeah.
Our other dog, Matilli, this Chihuahua Dachshund mix, basically nothing frightens her.
Yeah, Rook, if it's super windy outside, he's looking at the trees what's going on? And remember, it's wind. Everything's going to be okay. It's wind.
I wonder if he is overstimulated.
Yeah, it could be. By the way, people giving some good suggestions, so I appreciate that. Okay, Father Time. And let me properly put this. Hasn't LeBron, we always say, Father Time's undefeated. It's undefeated. Never loses. Hasn't he already beat Father Time? Explain to me what the definition of Father Time is when you're in your 21st season, you're breaking record after record of doing this at a stage of your career
never lost,
where no one was anywhere even close or anything along those lines. I don't even want to have the Father Time conversation anymore. If Bron decided he's not playing another game in his life, we're going to still sit back and marvel at the fact that he got to his 21st season, is doing what he's doing, still the best player on a floor that includes KD, Devin Booker, Zion. I mean, pick any players around the NBA. 95% of the time, he's still the best player on the floor.
I mean, the idea would be eventually your body stops cooperating. And, there will be a point where LeBron's body stops cooperating at a level that LeBron demands because he's not interested in hanging around. If LeBron wanted to, he honestly could play in the NBA till he's, close to 50. If he was cool with just being a guy.
Are you saying if he was cool with being what those other players that hung around till the absolute end, knowing that their career was over?
If LeBron, I don't know this for a fact, but for example, with Kobe, pre-Achilles, because I think when Kobe tore his Achilles, it changed the math on everything with his career and certain career goals and things like that. But I always had this hunch that Kobe was going to retire with a little bit left on the table, as opposed to playing until the absolute last moment he could. And part of it was because Kobe played for very specific reasons in a very specific way. And if he could not be the focal point of a high-end contending team.
Yeah, contending team. Mm-hmm.
He had no interest. Mm-hmm. And I that's fine. It's fine for Kobe. It's fine for other guys like Vince Carter, who clearly wanted to be in the league a long time and was cool with subverting the things that he did.
Dirk.
Also cool. Dirk, KG.
Tim Duncan.
Right. And none of this is a judgment pro or against any of them. But I get the very strong impression LeBron is not interested in being the fourth option, the fifth option, guy coming off the bench. Okay, here's a perfect example.
Okay.
Remember when Lamar Odom was made the sixth man for the Lakers, initially he was upset.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was really angry about this decision, like outwardly angry.
Disrespected feeling, whatever
like,
the case is.
Yep. He publicly questioned Phil Jackson. He said, quote, Phil Jackson must have lost his rabbit mind. Like, he was angry about this. And I remember Kobe was asked about this, and Kobe was like, you know what, I actually think this could be great for Lamar. Like, he gets to run his own unit. He can, kind of shape these guys in a way that he wants to. He's still going to be playing big minutes. He's still going to be a closer. He's still going to be one of the most important players on this team. I think it's great for Lamar if he embraces it. So I asked him, and I was really specific in the way I asked it. I said, could you ever envision you in a role like this at the very end of your career? And he looks at me and goes, that's the dumbest question you've ever asked me. And it's like, I think he was being 100% sincere with Lamar. He's like, that's a great role.
I'm not Lamar.
For Lamar, I'm not doing it, but it's great for Lamar. And I don't think LeBron is interested in, just playing as long as he can for the sake of playing. So, yeah, there will be a point where LeBron's body doesn't cooperate.
I guess my point is mission already accomplished. Like, you're doing things.
He's gone the distance with Father.
Gone the distance. Yeah, you went 12 rounds. Most people, they can't go 12 rounds.
He's gone the distance.
Let me squeeze in a quick call here. Josh in Redondo Beach. Josh, what's going on?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Thank you.
I just wanted to let Andy know that it must be a Bobo Roxy thing because I have two cats, Bobo and Roxy. Bobo is the older cat. We've had Roxy since 2014 and Bobo since 2009. Bobo despises Roxy. She hits her. She hisses at her when she goes by. She cannot stand her. So it's got to be a Bobo Roxy thing.
Wow.
Got to be.
That's very random.
That is
so
awesome,
random.
man. Thank you.
The lie of the day.
No, I think that was got to be
It's
genuine
a Friday.
right there.
You don't do that on a Friday.
Okay, we got DeMarco Farr coming up next. So the Rams got a big game in Baltimore. They've won 3 games in a row. They're in a real hunt to make the playoffs, which nobody thought this a month ago or anything along those lines. So we're going to get his thoughts. Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN. All right, bowl season. Basketball, hockey, and pro football are all in action, and Vivid Seats has it all for you and your ticket gifting needs this holiday season. What a great idea. See every one-timer, every touchdown, and every slam dunk live and in person with great deals on great seats. Plus, with Vivid Seats rewards, you earn rewards with every purchase. They're here for us fans, offering unbeatable rewards like surprise seat upgrades, free tickets, annual birthday discounts, and more. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets? Yes. We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
All right, Rams got a big game coming up. They're at Baltimore this Sunday. It's
the Corona Extra Countdown Kickoff starts at 8 a.m. with Travis and Kirk here in studio.
There you go. So make sure you start tuning in early on Sunday morning. I want to welcome in DeMarco Farr to the broadcast. DeMarco, what's going on, man? You got myself. You got AK sitting in the house. How you feeling?
I'm on pins and needles. What's up with Show? Is he a Dodger or no?
That's a good question. So
we don't know?
Yeah, we don't know.
Did Dave blow it?
I'll tell you what, if he doesn't sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers, DeMarco, you know the audience out here and sports fans in Southern California, they are that finger's going to be pointed at one direction.
Oh, my God, he's the new Steve Bartman. You have ruined everything. What are you doing? Oh, my God. Don't you know how to say no comment?
Is Andrew Friedman Moises Alou, where he hits his glove down and says, "What the heck are you doing?" I think that's
that is a great comp to
Yeah,
Marco.
that has to be.
Especially, too, because
have you guys ever done something like stupid at a party and your temperature just rises?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Or you're looking at somebody else and you're saying, "What the hell did you just do that for?"
What did I just do?
Okay, DeMarco, so you know this. If we say, if anything happens when we're talking and we have to cut it short, you're going to know why. Yeah. So we'll see what eventually happens.
All good. This is big news. I hope the Dodgers land the guy. I heard the other team might be Toronto. I mean, does that work out better money-wise for him?
You know what? I don't think money was ever going to be an issue with the Dodgers. I think it's
like taxes and stuff. Like, to live, you got to spend more.
I'm not an expert on the Canadian dollar, DeMarco. I don't know.
I guess it doesn't matter after a certain amount. Right?
I was
the healthcare is nice over there, for what I hear. I don't know how much that matters.
I was going to say money-wise, I don't think the Dodgers would have any issue paying. But we got a big game coming up on Sunday, and if I'd have told you a month ago that the Rams are in a position, they're not just in the hunt, but they're battling with a couple teams in front of them, and it is not unrealistic at all. I think if the Rams go 3-2 the rest of the way, they get that 9-win mark, and 9 might be enough. If I'd have told you a month ago we were having this conversation about the Rams, what would you have thought? How unlikely did you think this scenario was going to be just a few weeks ago?
A month ago. So that puts us where? Like smack dab early November. I would have said it's possible. It would not shock me. This is a team that went, nose to nose with Philadelphia, gave them all they can handle. San Francisco, the same thing. These are two teams that are probably going to make the Super Bowl or at least be in the NFC Championship game. And then you had winnable games in Cincinnati. You should have beat Pittsburgh. Dallas they steamrolled you. You didn't have Matthew Stafford in Green Bay. So you weren't that far off. You were just a few plays short. I think you're a few plays short right now for me in 8-4. So I wouldn't have been that surprised, but you still got to go out and get this one in Baltimore. This is huge. They're good. They're loaded. Lamar Jackson is as good as they come at doing what he does best. And mobile quarterbacks have tortured you this year. So this is this is a big ask. You got to go down there and play your best football game. But I would not have been shocked if the Rams are in the hunt, week 13. No, wouldn't have been shocked at all.
How shocked do you think, if at all, the organization is, though? Because the moves that they made heading into this season could be interpreted a lot of different ways. And, lately I've actually been wondering if maybe they had been honest the whole time. Yeah, we're not tanking, but maybe they just had an idea of, this is not a team that we're going to invest deeply in. We feel like
the timing wasn't there.
The timing isn't great, and if we have to take a step back, so be it. But we're not as nakedly tanking as a lot of people suspected. How much do you think any of this surprises them at all, DeMarco?
If the three of us were running a football team, if we were in charge, GM, head coach, what do you call it, CFO, we're the brain trust. If I'm handling football, I would say, look, this is what I'm going to need with the roster I have, and this is what we're going to have to do. You're going to have to give me some young guys. We're going to have to coach them up. We're going to have to put them around our stars, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, X, Y, and Z, and we're going to go to battle. We're going to try to win a championship. Now, the GM is going to be involved in that, so he's blocking both ways. The CFO or the guy that has to think macro down the line, he may have two plans in place, but he's all in on the first one. He's all in on his coach thinking he can turn this roster into a championship deal. But at some point, like you said, you're going to have to think about the future. If it goes south, we're going to do this. If this doesn't work out, we lose Stafford, AD gets hurt, and we're just a bad football team, we're going to do this. So I'm sure you've had a plan A, plan B, plan C, but right now plan A is to get this roster ready to win and try to get something out of this season, get into the postseason where anything can happen. So far they're on pace. Like you said, they're a few plays away from being 8-4. So if you want to call it a rebuild, a retool, a whatever, they're attacking this like any other team trying to win their first Super Bowl. So, but I'm sure if you're smart, you're thinking down the road, how can we get into the draft if it went south? But it's not the case right now.
Really quickly, DeMarco, to answer an earlier question you had, according to one currency converter that I just went to, as of today, one Canadian dollar is worth about 74 American cents. Yeah. So the American dollar is stronger, but it's not hugely stronger at this particular moment.
And we're going to have, we're having a tax accountant join us at 12:30 to get to the bottom of this, DeMarco.
So more pressure on Dave Roberts.
More pressure. More pressure on him. Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr taking some time to join us here, helping us preview the Rams and the Baltimore Ravens. DeMarco, you said something to start off I thought was interesting. You said that they got to win this game against the Ravens. They're obviously going to be underdogs. I think they're 7-point underdogs. If they're going to make this a game in the fourth quarter, and they got a shot to steal a win in Baltimore, what has to happen on Sunday? What are some of the areas for the Rams that they're going to have to excel in to beat a good Baltimore Ravens team?
I hope the Rams are driving for the game-winning field goal versus the opposite because, Tucker already got his miss out of the way and he's not going to do it again. So, and it could be that way. I mean, you could fight these guys to the end and the last possession wins the football game. Both quarterbacks are great and both quarterbacks want to win bad. I think maybe the difference could be what Aaron can do and how if he can affect Lamar. If you can stop the run, if you can force the game back onto Lamar Jackson's arm and force him to throw to beat you, you'll have a great shot to win this football game. But if they run the football like they have done all season long and just take air out of the football and take time off the clock, look, the fourth quarter will be there before you know it. And that's a tough place to be in Baltimore. It's going to be loud. They have a good defense. They can get after you. They've got 47 sacks. I think they had 48 all last season. So they are getting after you. And you're down there with crowd noise, and weather is going to be a factor. So this will take everything they've got for the Rams to win this football game. But if you play clean, if you play like you've been building since Arizona, playing good football, complimentary football, if you play like you did versus Cleveland and you don't hurt yourself, you can take this into the fourth quarter. And who knows? We'll see what happens there. But you have a good chance to win this football game if you can play clean.
Yeah, you mentioned, DeMarco, they've got a really good defense in Baltimore, and they're not especially more vulnerable, whether through the pass or rushing. With that in mind, how do you think the Rams should go about attacking this defense?
Well, look, I know Puka Nacua is a star, and this is great, and we all love it. We see it in L.A. all the time with musical acts or actors or whatever. It's Puka's time right now. The hair, the look, the aw shucks. the drama he builds when he gets hurt. He comes back. He's Lazarus now. So he's that guy. But I'll tell you, who has a chance to become the next star is Kyron Williams. You want to win a game, an AFC North game on the road in Baltimore, you're going to need a great running game. And he's got a great opportunity. He's been running the ball like gangbusters. The Rams' offensive line has really come together. That's been the biggest thing from this year. This line has really come together. So if you can somehow run the football, and Baltimore has been giving up some rushing yards, I think 4.3 yards per carry. So there is some room to run. If you're consistent, maybe you shake a few guys, bust a few long runs, and change the math down there, Kyron Williams comes back a hero. So that might be your best chance. Run the football, take the pressure off Matthew Stafford, have the benefit of play action, take the crowd out of it. You can win the football game.
DeMarco, I'm going to throw one NFL question your way, but it's more just something Emily said a little bit earlier. Emily, can you talk about your Mike Tomlin take there for DeMarco? I would love his thoughts on that.
I'm just saying, last night's game was between two coaches who are storied coaches, and if they happened to not be on the teams that they are with right now, next year, they would get a job in 2 seconds. But how much can we put blame on Mike Tomlin for how the Steelers are? Because this team looks like crap. And how long of a leash does Mike Tomlin have?
He's got to wear it, absolutely. And I love Mike Tomlin, but, man, you lost to Arizona and New England 2 weeks in a row.
They have not won a playoff game since 2017, DeMarco.
Yeah.
She wants him out.
I'm rooting for the guy. Just like the Rams place kicker, Haversick, the one they had to let go to bring in Mason Crosby. I like that kid. I'm rooting for him. I need you to hit these. I need Mike Tomlin to win these games. I need Mike Tomlin to beat Arizona. You cannot lose to New England. But when you do, it all points to you. So whether it's fair or not, this is the National Football League. You must bring home Lombardis or they'll be coming for you.
And it would be so anti-Steelers of them to, move on from a coach because they never have done that since, 80 years? So it would take a lot to move on from a coach. And I don't necessarily think that it's necessarily Mike Tomlin's fault. But it's one of those things where something needs to change.
Well, you're always going to point the finger. You're always going to point the finger.
The year that Pittsburgh fires a coach and New England fires Belichick. This might be the weirdest offseason of all time.
And then the team that gets either one of those coaches is incredibly lucky and has an incredible coach. It just sometimes it stops working and you need a change of scenery.
DeMarco, should be a fun game on Sunday. We appreciate your breakdown, brother. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, let me know what happens to the show. Call me before you announce it to the world.
100%. Yep, stay on your phone. I'll FaceTime you. Actually, can't do that because I have a Pixel. Okay, when we come back, Clinton Yates in the house. Yates looks like he's ready to go, ready to talk some baseball here with us.
Many jobs, so I can dress.
He looks right now like he could equally teach a class or go clubbing.
That's the vibe, That's the idea.
Actually, what he does, he teaches a class and then goes
about
clubbing.
Yeah, it's
about clubbing. Hot and Cold coming up next as well. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show 710 ESPN.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets? Yes. We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over! LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The Reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
All right, that's right. Caller number 7 is on the line for the 12 days of 710. Omar Lopez in Southgate, my brother. Thank you very much for coming on. Are you ready to pick a holiday box in the 710 studio?
Yes, sir. I'm ready, Jack. Let's go.
Okay, Omar. Which host holiday box do you want to pick? Do you want it to be Travis, Sliwa, Mace, Ireland, Sedano, or Cap?
In honor of the Circle of Trust, I'm picking Sedano's box.
The Sedano box.
The Sedano box.
Here we go. Let's see what's inside the box. Congratulations. You win a pair of tickets to see the LA Kings skate on the ice at Crypto.com Arena on Thursday, February 22nd against the Predators. Plus, we're going to throw in a gift card to our friends at Islands Restaurants. Island Mud. And that's what's in the box, Jack.
Omar Lopez, congratulations, brother. You've just won tickets to the LA Kings. Congratulations. I got to just ask you here before we let you go. What station is taking care of you during this season of winning?
You already know the best one, ESPN LA.
The 12 days of 710.
The 12 days of 710.
It's the season of winning on 710.
And now time for What's Cold. The Chris Paul veto.
All right. So what was cold? On this day in 2011 was when David Stern vetoed the trade for Chris Paul to the Lakers. All right. So one, that feels like forever ago. And two, how is the league different now?
Okay. So we got Clint in here as well.
What's
AK
up?
in the house. AK, let's start with this. The Chris Paul portion of it. I mean, for so long, I think, Em, what you just said, that it does seem like it was so long ago because it was so long ago. How would the league have been different if it was Adam Silver who was the commissioner? Would it have gone down the same way? Just what's your take as we look back 12 years ago?
I mean, first of all, my immediate take when this happened, I was upset as a Laker fan, but I was even more upset as a writer working for ESPN who had written this really good piece, like 2,000 words about the implication of this deal, then found out, oh, by the way, that piece getting spiked we need you to write like another 2,000 words in the next like 45. I was livid.
This is also the origin story of a lot of Lakers fans who believe that the Lakers are the center of the NBA universe. This is where it started.
Yeah.
It's because there was this assumption that David Stern was trying to prevent them from taking over, blah, blah, blah. It was a very specific thing. It was a weird decision, but it was also something that I think was Stern probably making a bit of a power play. Like, I still run this league. And when you talk about him versus the guy there now, who
they're just coming off the timing of it, right?
The timing of it after the lockout had ended, and that lockout was very much about trying to keep the starriest of organizations from basically
make it more fair play is what they were trying to do. Yep.
It was too quick. Like, if this thing had come out like 3 days later, I think Chris Paul ends up a Laker. Like, it was literally like half an hour after the lockout ends, Chris Paul is going to the Lakers. Like, the optics of it were really
And you had
bad.
the scenario where technically the NBA was controlling.
Well, yes.
The team that Chris Paul was on.
And he absolutely, David Stern, overstepped his boundaries there because you cannot, in good faith, negotiate with somebody who is both the team owner and the person rubber stamping the deal.
I was going to say, and that person doesn't have the power to make the final decision.
All right, now who's hot? Who's hot is Charles Barkley. So there was the combined broadcast of the TNT and ESPN for the pregame show, during the game, and after. So Charles Barkley decided to address and thank Malika, talk highly of Malika, talk highly of Michael Wilbon, and then he had this to say about Stephen A. Smith.
Hey, Bob, you know, I love you. And let me tell you something, Stephen A. If you come over here with all that loud-ass talking tonight, hey, this ain't first take. Hey, thank you. This
Tell him,
ain't
Chuck.
first take. This going to be the first ass whooping you take. If you come over here with that loud-ass talk.
So, gotta love Charles.
They also played Who He Played For with Stephen A., which is one of the best things they do on that show is just put random dudes up on the screen and ask Chuck who he plays for. Steve didn't do so well. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think he started 0 for 3 and got, who did he get? He got Otto Porter maybe or something like that. Okay, so something real quick about that. We're just talking about this. Charles Barkley and Stephen A., Wilbon is there as well, Candace Parker, Reggie Miller. They merged these two. I thought it was one of the coolest things that I don't have an example of what networks have done something like this, but it was one of the things that stood out about this Final Four yesterday was that you had 2 games in the same arena. It had a college basketball vibe. I've compared it to when you do have a Final Four, literally one game earlier and then the next game after. I don't know what you guys thought of the broadcasters merging together. I thought that was one of the coolest things I've seen in a while.
It wasn't bad. It sort of reminds me of like when radio stations will do like whatever, and they have all the shows on at the same time all throughout the day just to kind of see what happens and if everybody gets on each other.
It would be like if us and 570 did a crosstalk.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good.
Which honestly would probably be pretty
fun. That would
fun.
actually be pretty hilarious.
Probably like one of the better ideas there. That's good.
Actually, it'll never happen, but it probably would be really fun.
Okay, so as you guys know, I talked to you yesterday from Nashville.
Yeah.
I got back, and on the plane, I was watching basketball. I was watching the NBA. And the Lakers game was a huge blowout.
I'm going to close this out in 2 seconds. Who's Hot and Who's Cold is brought to you by Next Gen. Next Gen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. So we're talking about the in-season. Mm-hmm.
The in-season tournament, I don't know what it is, AK, but once they got to the neutral sites, it felt a little weird. And, like, in this regard, LeBron, great game. Lakers play great. Am I genuinely supposed to believe that this is, like, a bigger deal than an average regular season game?
Yes.
Am I counting this in like clutch performances?
Yes, because they care.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense to me in terms of what overall and analyzing what a team is. Like, okay, LeBron had a great game in the in-season tournament. Like, I'm not going to say, man, it's like when June comes around, I'm not going to be like,
maybe
man.
Tyrese is the better example because he's a player that doesn't get LeBron's going to have good games anyways. Sure. I think the question is, Tyrese Halliburton is making a name for himself in an in-season tournament. He's a great player either way.
But Tyrese Halliburton was a top 10 pick. Tyrese Halliburton is on his second team in the NBA. He signed a $250 million deal. Like, if you don't know who Tyrese Halliburton is, you arguably don't like the NBA that much.
But honestly, a lot of people don't know because he never plays on national TV.
Yeah. Well,
literally, I think he's played either none or one on national TV.
It's just such an odd conundrum to me because I'm sitting there thinking, man, like this is what you have to do to get your product into a place where people are actually rooting for the
can
superstars.
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You have obviously clearly an opinion on it. Do you think it's been successful?
Yes, but here's what I'll say about that. I don't think that everything that is a gimmick is by default a problem. I have no issues with gimmicks as gimmicks themselves. This just happens to be a gimmick I do not like. And the reason I wonder about it is because, I continue to wonder who this serves from a fan base standpoint. They did the dark lights. They did the cinematic everything. I felt like I was watching a movie, but there wasn't nobody in there, dog. They're playing games at 2 p.m. in Vegas on a Thursday or whatever. Like, I'm just still
the ratings have been great.
I'm still curious as to who this is for. Just in general.
Well, I would say right now it appears like it's for the average NBA fan because the ratings have been really good. And the players, you first have to get the investment from players before anything else can take off. The players are clearly into it. We'll truly know who this was for in 5 to 10 years if we see, is this part of NBA culture that people care about?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. It's just right now, year one, it's a little oddball to me that I'm like, okay, great, you had a great game in December.
What if the
else
stakes
are you getting paid to do?
What if the stakes were a little bit different? What if Tyrese Halliburton before the in-season tournament started said, okay, it's cool, we're getting paid $500,000.
Yeah.
I don't know why I should care they're getting paid $500,000 because I don't. They're already making millions of dollars, so it is what it is. Cool for them. They can add another bonus to what they're making. But Tyrese says something to the effect of, let's play for something. Whoever wins this thing gets a spot in the playoffs. Are you looking at it differently now?
Absolutely. I'm looking at it completely differently.
Maybe that's one of the elements. Michael Thompson won't stop talking about kind of similar to what you're saying. Can you have some stakes in here that will now, if you win this thing, a fan is saying, well, my squad just got in or my squad got this because they won this in-season tournament?
Like, do you hang a banner, Slee, if you win it? Like what?
Where?
I don't know.
Like you're saying in L.A., you're saying the Lakers?
Wherever.
Pacers will do something different than the Lakers. Pacers should do something different.
I think everybody
than the
has
Lakers.
this backwards. Mm-hmm. If you want this thing to matter, if the Lakers win, assuming there are banners, and I have no idea if there's a plan for banners or not.
Okay.
But if the Lakers win this, it's way more important that the Lakers hang a banner than the Pacers because the Lakers hanging a banner gives it gravitas. If the Pacers hang the banner, you're actually creating the jokes that write themselves. Like people are going to make fun of the Pacers more for hanging that banner. If the Lakers hang that banner, what are you going to make fun of them for? They got 17 other ones.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a fair amount to make fun of if you're hanging ITS banners,
right? But
or IST banners, whatever it's called.
Whatever. But people are going to be snarky no matter what. But who are you going to tell the Lakers that something is beneath them to hang? Yeah. They've hung more banners than anybody but the Celtics.
But this is all just very odd to me because it seems like you're pointing out the lack of.
They should. I'll say this: if they want to be good partners to the league,
right.
They should hang a banner.
But then I fall more to him of the gimmicky part.
Yeah, it's
like I think then it becomes more to you cannot value. Obviously, it's not of equal value, so you can't treat it equally to that.
I don't say. To me, you're not treating it as an equal achievement. You're treating it as an achievement. It's a noteworthy achievement that you hope becomes part of NBA culture. That's part of making it NBA culture.
I still need something more incentivized than just money and props. Like to me, otherwise
that argument I'm not opposed to.
I would be
not opposed to that.
I'd be okay with a play-in spot.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's pretty much
playoff.
Okay
I think is too much.
No.
Listen.
A guaranteed play-in spot if you win that tournament makes complete sense to me.
I'll put it this way: at the worst, like let's say Indiana,
you get the 10 seed at minimum.
I was gonna say, let's say Indiana won. And
10
Indiana,
seed minimum.
They know that the 10 seed is gone from the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
At the worst, they're going to be a 10. Now, if they finish higher, they finish higher. But at the worst, it's the 10 seed.
I just like, are you gonna? I mean, are you gonna be fired up, high fiving your boys if the Lakers win the IST?
I mean, I'm going to be excited because it's part of the Lakers continuing to play well.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And again, if
the games have felt different, I will tell you they have felt different,
and that's why I was sort of it's sort of weird because I'm like, why are they playing so much harder? I get it, but like
LeBron has won everything you can win in this league.
Yeah.
If he cares, who am I to resist?
No, that's fair.
There's been a lot of chatter all day, and for the last couple of hours, we've been sitting here thinking, hey, Shohei going to make a decision. Hey, Shohei going to make a decision. You were out. You're there at the winter meetings. here today. You're hustling, doing everything you're doing on TV. But just your take of where we sit. There were some reports out there earlier. We came out and said, listen, nothing is confirmed. But I'll put it this way. I guess maybe this is the bigger question because I think this is what has hit me. I just thought the Dodgers were the team to beat. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like as we sit here today, he could very easily at any point end up with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think.
Does any of this surprise you at all?
Not really, mainly because, and I caution Dodgers fans of this all the time, the Dodgers are not the center of the baseball universe, no matter how much as a fan people convince themselves that they are. If they were so great at getting guys and keeping guys, you'd see a lot of different faces beyond that franchise versus what there is now. And so, no, I'm not particularly surprised that, he would go somewhere else. Whether or not that gives him a better chance of winning or whatever, I don't know. But I do think, as I said yesterday, the fact that the Halos are still in the conversation at all is the most surprising thing about all of this, as far as I'm concerned. Because if he genuinely considers going back, what does that say about these other franchises who have been whining and dining him and trying to get him somewhere, but
have been clearing and doing stuff?
Yeah,
have been making moves for basically 2 years,
2
seasons
to put themselves to try to get him on the roster. So. I do wish, I said this before, I do wish it had been a little bit more fun overall. I'm not really big on the secret vow bit. Like, I just, that's not, I get it. You know what I mean? The guy wants privacy. I get it. He's Japanese. I understand it's a cultural thing. But, again, it's still a sport. This is still a show.
Well, this is what I think people forget, though. It would be fun for all of us. If he did more of that, it would be less fun for him.
Yeah, but that's what the money's for, AK. That's what I'm saying. Like, and if I'm a team as well, and this is a serious thing, in fact, that was brought up in the BBWAA meeting, which is like, dude, who are you going to be when you get to another team? Well, like, what are we actually getting here?
This is something that I do think needs to be considered. He's a high maintenance guy.
Oh yeah,
in a very particular way, like not in a way that we often think about athletes being high maintenance. But, like, the level of secrecy that you clearly have to maintain to keep Ohtani happy, that's a 24/7 gig. Like, that is exhausting. And, look, he's clearly earned the right to do this. But for the team accommodating it, that's no picnic.
It's a lot. It's a whole lot. And let's also not forget, Slee, this is the most important part that people keep forgetting. He's not pitching next year. He might not ever pitch again. This is entirely possible. 2 Tommy John surgeries. People don't just come back from that and start throwing quality starts and having 7 innings a night in and night out or whatever it may be. That's going to be difficult. He's going to be a different player than we've seen before going to the next team that he goes to, if it is, in fact, a different team.
Yeah, my theory, I told Trav this, the reason why I think the Angels are still in contention, CAK, the lease he signed doesn't expire until August, so he doesn't want to break that. Doesn't want to break the lease because there is a fee there, and then he has a dog. You know that he hasn't told them
an unnamed dog.
They didn't tell them that they have a dog, so that also affects his lease.
Sources say that might have been a prop dog. A lot of rumors.
Could be a prop dog.
Rumors going around about what's happening. Prop pup, excuse me.
All right, the dump coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show 7.
Black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free! Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710.
It's time for the dump.
You know what they say, cheaters never prosper, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why Jim Harbaugh is working on a 5-year extension with Michigan. He's working on a 5-year, $55 million contract extension with Michigan, according to multiple reports. It would make him the second highest paid coach in college football, trailing only Nick Saban. So great job, Jim.
You hear that, kids?
Never cheat, because it never pays off. You never win a national title, and you never get any more jobs.
Means you're not cheating enough if you want a 5-year, $55 million contract. Okay, so Harbaugh, we saw some reports. This was maybe within the last week or so. Hey, could he be tied to the Chargers? Could he be tied with other NFL teams? That's been actually out for a while. Well, that's over.
Because also earlier this week, too, it was reported yesterday that Michigan's trying to work out this agreement with a clause that he cannot interview with NFL. That they don't want him interviewing with NFL next year either. That they want to have him
some stability.
Yeah, locked up, that he doesn't just bounce to whatever opportunity he has.
Yeah, he's the one coach. Like, I don't think anybody thinks Saban's going anywhere. There's certain coaches you're like, yeah, they're staying put. Harbaugh seems like every year he's on on some type of track or tied to another team.
And Jim made it work in the NFL. He went to the Super Bowl in the NFL. He has proven to work at both levels. People like Saban, not so much, and other coaches out there that you don't know. It's not a guarantee that the jump to NFL would work.
By the way, shout out to Pizza Hut. They fed us on this great Friday afternoon, so we greatly appreciate that. Triple treat box. Thank you for them coming out. They just took off right now. Couple birthdays I'm going to throw out there. Dwight Howard turns 38. I think I saw somebody just tweet out, or maybe he tweeted it, and I saw somebody retweet it. Looks like he's going to start some type of a podcast. What of the athletes out there, former athletes, current athletes that have podcasts, are there any of them that you're like, hey, you either listen to it regularly, or if you hear them talking on some type of conversation, you're like, I want to hear it?
I don't know if there's any athlete-led podcast that I listen to regularly, but like I think, All the Smoke, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes do a really good job.
And they were kind of one of the
They actually just signed a big deal with Meadowlark, Dan Lebitard's production company.
Very nice.
And Matt Barnes, actually, it was interesting. Matt Barnes covering him was a really great example of like somebody being way different than you expect. Because when you see Barnes
Matt
on
Barnes,
the court,
the player,
right? Like, I mean, he's really, really fiery and hot-headed, and can be like very aggressive out on the court, like a very emotional guy.
And that's how he survived in the league for so long, right? That was his foundation.
I mean, it's not a judgment or anything. No, that. It's just how he was. But I remember when I covered him when he was on the Lakers, talking to him after games, he's like very quiet, very introspective, like almost subdued. He was really, really different than like basically the Matt Barnes that I had been exposed to, which is basically on the court. I think J.J. Redick does a really good job with the Old Man and the Three.
Yep.
And that podcast was in the news this week. Did you guys see that with Bill Simmons?
No.
I don't think I saw it, no.
So there was, I guess
Fill us in on the juice there.
JJ had said that his podcast did its best when it left The Ringer, that it was originally with The Ringer. And then Bill Simmons wanted to be like, hey, JJ, this is actually what happened. So obviously you could take with great assault what each person had to say, but saying that JJ said that The Ringer did not believe in video, that they didn't, that he didn't believe in the power that a video and a podcast would have to have on the market. And then and then Bill was like, actually, we tried to do it, and you didn't. So that's the drama with The Ringer and the Old Man and the Three.
Okay, so for me, players, I'll give you a couple examples, some current players right now. Trae Young has tried a podcast recently.
Okay, one more, Raleigh. Remember, Paul George's podcast is terrific.
This is where I was going to go.
It's really good.
Trae Young started a podcast recently, and you could tell Trae Young is going to need a second. He is, and you got to be comfortable with it. There's some people are just freaking naturals, and it's also tough to do. From the interview that I saw, Trae Young was pretty much by himself, and he was interviewing someone. He's going to work on it a couple years, probably going to be a lot different. PG's podcast, it's a good podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think it's helped kind of create a little bit different of a perception on Paul George. What I mean by that is, look, his career has been what it was. He was amazing in Indiana. There's been a lot of disappointment with the Clippers.
He's still really good, though.
Still really good.
Really
Absolutely
good.
he is. And I don't think that's ever changed. It's just he's still very, very good. Listening to him on a long platform podcast, I like the guy. Like, I like listening to him. He's an easy listen.
His podcast is really good.
Yeah, Wave Sports and Entertainment does a great job with those players because they had the New Heights, the Kelsey podcast as well.
Yep.
That podcast is great. If you want to know what it's like to be in the league by two guys who are at the height of their position and
As
are also
successful as can
personable,
be.
funny, they are willing to talk about stuff. It's a great podcast to listen to understand what it's like to be in the league. Like Jason talks about how he has to get oxygen after every drive. Like he has to go get the mask because that's how hard it is to be a center in the NFL.
Wow.
And it's just stuff like that is really interesting to learn from their perspective.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any others. Draymond I used to listen to a lot because Draymond would react after playoff games, right?
Yeah.
The Warriors
In
would
the tunnel.
The Warriors would lose a game and against the Boston Celtics in the finals, and then there's Draymond. I get unfiltered, a player that was in the game, that had a lot of skin in the game for 30 minutes or whatever the case is, but a lot of those are good. Couple anniversaries here. On this day, 2006, actually one of my favorite, Leonardo DiCaprio has so many amazing movies. Blood Diamond was released in 2006. Were you a fan of Blood Diamond?
I think the movie itself is fine, and I'm a big fan of DiCaprio as an actor.
And it's a heavy one.
What Blood Diamond, though, did reinforce, he's not great at dialects. He often struggles with dialects, but...
How did you think he was in Killers? Flower Moon.
I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
I've not seen it yet. But
he has an accent there.
I'm a big fan, though, of DiCaprio as an actor. I think he's a fantastic actor.
Leonard DiCaprio.
Were you... Mace, were you a Blood Diamond fan? Did you like that movie, Blood Diamond? This is DiCaprio.
The movie, not
the
Blood
movie?
Diamonds.
Yeah, no, I don't like Blood Diamonds.
Just to make sure.
I don't have any and refuse Blood Diamonds at every turn.
It came out in 2006 on this day.
It's
I
the
know
same year of
He
The
was
Departed.
nominated
a while
for
ago.
Best Actor for Blood
Which was
Diamond.
weird because it was the same year of The Departed.
Oh, really? So
Yes.
he got nominated for Blood Diamond instead of The
That
Departed.
was the same
Which
year.
I thought was strange.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, little
Blood
bit.
Diamond is okay. I like The Departed, obviously, much better.
A little bit different roles from that perspective. Okay.
And The Holiday. Come on, you
What
see
else
it right
happened on this
there.
day?
2000, on this day in 2006,
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah, that's right. I didn't see
Holiday
this. Yep, The
that
Holiday.
we completely left off of our list yesterday, which enraged John Ireland, which I can understand completely, John. You are right. The Holiday deserved to be on our list because I love The Holiday. It just slipped my mind.
Yeah, one of two things happens with our draft every Thursday.
Yes.
Either John says, you know what, guys, I like this list.
Yes.
Or John will say, you're all idiots.
Yes.
There's no in between.
Well, I got to say,
Yesterday we were all idiots.
I joined the all idiots crowd
Okay, that's
yesterday
completely fair.
because I'll be honest, you cannot make a list of best Christmas movies without Love Actually.
It's not
It
the
just
first
cannot
time I've
be
been
done.
called.
Why don't you and Lady Slee
Yeah.
settle into the couch and watch
Set
a
the
little
mood
Love
for us.
Actually?
Yep.
Yeah, you turn the lights down a little bit.
I like it.
It's a movie, by the way.
Pour
that
yourself a little bourbon.
There's been a lot of
you can get a little
re-examinations of
wine
Love
there.
Actually that have not been positive.
What do you mean?
Well, the Andrew Lincoln, kind of stalky.
It's
Kind of stalky.
No, it's like pro signage. I'm pro signage.
Well, he's stalking with a sign.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do a little Supercross
All right.
talk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and I to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, so we tried figuring out yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Hey, John. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on,
What's
boys?
up, Johnny? AK in here as well. And, John, we were trying to figure out yesterday, we actually tried figuring out today, how and when Trav lost his voice.
Oh, yeah.
So we were going through some certain moments of Travis. You guys know that's one of his talents, right?
Yes.
Like one of the reasons why he is at 710 ESPN. Yes, he knows everything about the Dodgers, the Rams, the Lakers.
All that stuff, yeah.
He's really good at all that stuff. But he also does a peacock noise.
Oh, that is true. He does do
right?
a peacock noise.
He does do a peacock noise. And
he
I
does
don't know
a messy voice, too.
I don't know if he led with some of this stuff when he was originally being interviewed for the job, but he does a peacock voice. He does a messy voice. And I think the messy voice, which he did on Wednesday, finally did him in.
I want
and
to
that's
catch the ball.
Yes.
And I like candy.
John, and he didn't do it for like 15 or 30 seconds. He went like 2 or 3
he did
minutes
do a
where
long
we were
time.
asking him,
Yeah.
you should probably stop. But then when we do that, then he continues to go.
Correct. He still does. You got to be careful. Ireland has several impressions.
Yeah, I used to do. I did a Chris Russo impression once, and I went too long. I went like 2-3 minutes. Or hey, it's probably in there someplace. And I paid for it.
His voice was not the same for a little bit.
I had to stop doing that voice because it put too much strain on my vocal
Now,
cords.
interestingly, old man voice does not put any strain on your vocal cords, does it?
I can do that on command.
Makes him stronger.
I'm not joking, John. I would listen to you doing a daily show in old man voice. That would be must listen for me.
Would be.
I think old man voice John Ireland is quite literally the best version of Ireland.
The Kaminsky brothers. No, I used to listen to them back in the day where I used to drink tea with whiskey.
It's the best.
And then I had Sanka, and after that, the only thing is I can't tell the difference between the bald one and the other bald one.
It's the best Ireland.
One of them needs to grow some hair back.
That one doesn't hurt my.
That was really good.
That's really good. Old man voice kills.
Can you
It
call a
always
game
kills.
like, maybe like just the beginning?
Be your
like
own
tip-off?
color commentator.
I'll tell you what, Slee, if I could, I would have done it last night because that game was over about 3 minutes into the third
How about
quarter.
that, huh? Let me tell you something. That tournament is, and John, I don't know what it's like to be there. I watched like 2 hours of pregame last night. So entertaining.
How about that atmosphere?
The crossover between the ESPN guys and the TNT guys, unbelievably entertaining. The tournament has paid off in just a gigantic way.
Yeah, and you guys know how we've all been to NBA Finals games, we've all been to All-Star games, basically because both those things have happened a lot in LA. And this felt like that. It felt like an All-Star game. I'm not going to compare it to the NBA Finals, but the way they set up the arena, the amount of media who was here to cover it, the way the whole league office is here. Everybody I know who works at the league office is in Vegas for this event. So they took it seriously. Obviously, LeBron took it seriously. And, Andy, I was trying to figure out if I took over the play-by-play job in 2011, and I don't know if I have seen a more one-sided, dominant performance by the Lakers in my 12 years of doing play-by-play than we saw last night. Can you think of one?
I mean, it's hard to come up with that many wins, that completely. What's crazy about it being one-sided was
Close
the
in the
first
first quarter
was 30-29
They're now one.
Pelicans. You know what's funny, though? This was, I believe, the largest victory of LeBron's regular season career.
44 points.
He also just recently had the worst loss of his
that's
regular
right.
season
He
career
did.
against the
Against
Sixers.
Philly, yeah.
Like, talk about your swings.
Yeah, that's
My
like an 80-point swing.
It really
my
is.
cousin lives in Philly, and I got him tickets for that game. And he sent me a text this morning saying, "Are you sure that was the same team I watched 2 weeks ago?" Because there's just the league's weird that way. Once a game gets away from you, it gets away from you. And New Orleans kind of threw in the towel halfway through.
But you know what, though, John? It wasn't the same team that you saw before because they've got different guys now. Like, they're close to their full roster.
Yeah, everybody but Gabe Vincent they got.
John, it's funny when you said that. It reminded you of All-Star Game, and I think what you meant is more of the atmosphere.
Right.
I think the
way they have it set up.
Exactly. And the comp that you said, you don't want to pretend like it's the finals, but I felt like it was a playoff game. Like there was The fact that, and it was one of the coolest things, and I don't know if you guys have any examples of ESPN and TNT, the best of the best, merging together and doing some of these shows, the crowd in the background, the fact that you had, in the Final Four in March Madness, you usually have 2 games in one arena.
Right.
One game is earlier, the other game is later.
Sure.
It had kind of a college Final Four atmosphere to it.
That's exactly what it compared. And I was thinking about it. The college football playoff is coming up, and I was thinking, that's a Final Four. This feels like a better Final Four, a more interesting Final Four than the college football Final Four. Like I'm surprised how invested I am in the tournament.
It's interesting in that I think this would be a mistake, but I just watched an interview with Adam Silver, and he said that as much fun as they've had here in Vegas and as much fun as they've had with that Final Four setup you're talking about, Mace,
yep,
he wants to explore moving the entire tournament into home arenas because he thinks that fans should enjoy this. He said, we're not really a neutral site league. We play all of our games in venues. And he goes, if you look at baseball, they're the same way. Even their all-star game is inside of a major league stadium. He goes, as of right now, there's no team in Vegas, and we're having everyone descend on Vegas. But he goes, maybe we move the semifinals and the finals into home arenas to up the excitement level. Do you guys think that'd be a good idea or a bad idea?
Just to ask, how full was it last night?
Full.
Now, that's for the Laker game. How about for the Bucks and the Pacers?
It was full by the time I got there, but Michael and I got there midway through the third quarter of the Indiana game, and we watched it, and it was full by then, but I was told when it started at 2 o'clock it was not.
Because that
is a super early start.
Yeah. My only concern would be this: the Lakers draw, so if it's not the
Vegas
Lakers,
is a Lakers town.
If it's not the Lakers there, and let's just say it was, you can pick. Let's say the Oklahoma City Thunder was a good team.
Yep.
It was the Thunder taking on the Pelicans, and on the other side, keep it the same, Bucks and the Pacers. If I live in Vegas, I'm going to go. But I'm not traveling to Vegas to watch that game. I don't think I am. Maybe, John, that's what the concern is.
Well, I met several Laker fans that did travel, and they bought their tickets a week ago. And the tickets were expensive and hard to get. And
are they really expensive to get in?
The guys that I met last night told me they paid over $1,000.
No way.
They had good seats.
Wow, so there's
and
demand for this.
What surprised me was, and I didn't know logistically how they were going to pull this off, but they did, is when you bought tickets, you only got tickets to one game. It's not like the Final Four, where if you buy a ticket, you can stay in there and watch both games. After the Pacers-Bucks game, they kicked everyone out of the arena.
I didn't know
so
that.
It's like a day-night doubleheader.
I didn't know that.
Correct. And then they brought all the people in for the Laker game after it. So they sold 2 sets of tickets. And if you look at it that way, they did pretty well.
Selfish bastards. Hey, I know we're all in kind of on pins and needles trying to figure out what's going to happen here.
Yes, with Otani,
with Shohei.
This kid Shohei.
By the way, we're hearing, Slee, it could happen during our show, and I'm not making that up.
Yeah,
I heard that it might happen in the next 3 hours.
Well, this is I don't know how you guys feel about this, but maybe I'm on my own. I thought the only surprise coming is if Shohei was not a Los Angeles Dodger. And however this thing trends and whatever happens, but it also sounds like the Toronto Blue Jays are 100% in the mix.
Yes.
And could very easily end up with Shohei. Are you guys, are either of you surprised, shocked that this is the situation? Because the Dodgers, it feels like for 2 years, were preparing for this moment. And to come short potentially on this moment is a shock to me.
I think if it goes down that way, it is shocking. I think when it comes down, my sense is it's going to be Toronto. But when it comes down, I think the number is going to be gigantic, but the Dodgers will have offered at least that number. I don't think the Dodgers are going to be outbid. It's not going to be money that decides it. And there's something about being an international city, all that stuff that goes along with Toronto that maybe is appeal for
He gets to become
Otani.
the biggest athlete in a country.
That's true.
Like, he will be the
most famous athlete in Canada.
Hands down.
And still be the most famous athlete in Japan. And still be the most famous athlete
here.
He remains the biggest athlete in baseball no matter where he goes.
Right, but guys, remember this too. Toronto doesn't get a lot of out-of-market media coverage, which I think he likes.
Right. This is something, John, it's funny. This was something that kind of occurred to me this morning. Like we were talking about it being the Dodgers versus the Blue Jays, and it kind of reminded me of when the Lakers were waiting on Kawhi Leonard. And it was between the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Raptors. And that whole time, I never thought Kawhi was going to end up a Laker. I thought the Lakers honestly were getting used. And my big reason for it was, is there anybody in the NBA who seems like they would enjoy being a Laker less than Kawhi Leonard? Watching the way Shohei Otani's entire career, but especially his free agency has gone on, he seems like somebody who would loathe being a Dodger.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, I just got this tweet that is completely what we're talking about. John Paul Morosi. Sources: Shohei Otani is en route to Toronto today. A representative of his agency, CAA, would not comment when asked about Otani's travel plans. At this hour, Otani does not have a signed agreement with any team. But according to John Paul Morosi, on a plane en route to Toronto today.
And he's good.
Yeah, I always had the feeling, Andy, the Kawhi comparison is really good because I always thought Kawhi to the Lakers when they already had LeBron and AD was too good to be true. And one of the reasons I bet a lot of mythical money against Mason that Ohtani would not go to the Dodgers is I thought Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei all on the same team is too good to be true. And things like that almost never work out, where you get three gigantic stars all in one place. Sometimes it does, but most of the time it doesn't. And I just thought Shohei would maybe be turned off a little bit by that.
Although,
I don't know, what do you guys think?
When we talked about this, I don't think anybody had Toronto on their list as a possible destination. They really came
or a real destination
out of the blue, and they seem to be in it like from the jump. Like right away, Toronto was in.
What'd you hear? You heard Red Sox because of the New Balance relationship.
Yeah.
Of course, you just think of the big markets. San Francisco.
Francisco.
I thought
You know
is
what,
definitely
though?
got Seattle's got to be in
Along
play.
the lines of what I was just saying before about how Ohtani seems like he wouldn't like being a Dodger, I think this is also a mistake that we often make. We assume that every athlete is obsessed with building their brand, and therefore they're going to be looking for the biggest, splashiest markets at all times.
Yep.
Ohtani does not seem the slightest bit interested in building his brand, and he doesn't need to because he's already massive.
I'll tell you why I thought, and I think it's very simple, and I think most people feel the same way. I thought Dodgers for the mere fact of you got at least pretty much a ticket every single year to making the playoffs. That's the only thing I thought.
You will compete in the playoffs year after
You'll be in the
year
playoffs
after year.
every year, and it's not all on your shoulders. Think of all the talent that the Dodgers have. Think of the guys and the resources, the money that they have that comes with it. And then just as important, they got a farm system as good as anybody in Major League Baseball, so you're always cropping players as well. But we'll see what happens. Hey, it sounds like it could happen at any moment, and it may very well happen on your guys' show. Super Crosstalk is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger.
What are you doing this weekend, Slee?
That's what a hamburger is all
party?
about. I'd try to. I would love to be there.
Yeah, you going to like Joshua Tree, anything like that?
I'd love to be in Saturday. I'd love to be in Vegas, but I don't know if I can make that one happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough
That's
there.
a good one. Good one.
I want to be there for that.
Yeah,
I want to
it'll be
be for
fun
that.
tomorrow night.
Okay, Mason Island.